Oh, sorry.
9 o'clock.
Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the agenda is approve the minutes of Monday, August 22nd. As presented.
I'll make the motion.
Tim moves.
I'll second.
Don second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Nothing in our consent. Mr. 905, Jeff Byer, Road and Bridge.
Morning, guys.
Good morning.
Just gonna pass around a little information to start. Ryan wanted me to pass that around. That's some temporary easements he's been working on for Bridge 127, 128. I think I said that right, didn't I? Or is it 120?
It doesn't have the bridge number on it.
Right here.
Oh, 128 and 127.
128, 127, down south here. Temporary easements he's working on. That's just a checklist for the grants we're getting, so working on that. The accident, I know I've got to report those. We had a tire blowout on a truck. Really no other information there than we had a little damage to the side of the bed and inner fenders of an old truck. We just pull it out and keep using it. This will be our last week of 410s for the year.
Is this really an accident?
You know, it's equipment damage.
You call it an accident, did you do a drug
No.
test?
I'm calling it equipment damage.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, because it wasn't an accident.
Right. No, it's just part of life.
Yeah.
So, last week of 410s. I've got just a couple other things you guys should have in your packet. A couple of motions, I believe.
Got the motions. I don't have a CP2.
Okay, I believe I got that with me. Yes, I do. And then you guys can do the motions whenever you want. And then also in your packets, did you get some stuff on the landfill information?
All got one sheet.
This is all I had was,
Dang. Okay, we'll do it some other time unless you want copies. I wasn't planning on. You guys asked the last time I was in here for some information about landfill volumes and totals, so I got those around. I thought they were
I
sent
can go
up.
down
I
and
thought
call
that's
Hannah
what
really
we.
quick and see if she can
Thought that's
email
what
it
we
to
were
me.
talking about.
You got them there, we can copy
Yeah.
them.
Yeah,
You can just have them for your packet if you don't want to. You can discuss them now if you like.
I don't think it's emergency, we can.
Right.
We can discuss it next week or the following.
That's
week.
fine. You guys can just have the information, see what I've got put together. And if you got any more questions, I can
That's right.
do that before we discuss it.
We have time to look at it anyway before we discuss it.
Fair enough. So we won't mess with any of the landfill stuff today. So on the asphalt, is there any questions on that? We just went over a little bit on the volume.
That's what the change order is, just a
Mhm.
little.
74 tons
Yeah.
additional.
That would be because of the subgrade failures.
If, so, some intersections and then the subgrade, some rutting and different issues. So.
I went for a ride along last week with Jeff, and he showed me some of the areas, and he just went back further into the intersection, if you would, make things blend in better, so.
And I will say Tom and Adam Hogan showed me that they can see it better riding in their golf carts, but some issues we're having on 16th Street. We're also having some issues on Housatonic. I'm noticing, and even this new asphalt has got some cracks. So I called Kilo. They're going to come help us with the new stuff they put down. It's just the dry weather. It's the dry weather, the trees and the edge of the road getting all the moisture sucked out of it. I know the city of Burlington, I haven't talked to Mark himself, but Kilo told me they're coming to fix some of their new stuff as well, so it's popping up everywhere, so.
I think some of that, and this just my thinking, I'd be all wrong on it, but we overlay and we overlay and we overlay and we overlay, and pretty soon we're gonna have to go back to square one.
Some of it, and we had a chance to discuss that, where we gotta do some more milling.
Right.
Right. That's some of
I
it.
mean, when it's already weak on the edge, and then when we overlay it 2.5, 3 inches, whatever, it's still weak out on the edge to me, but that's just me.
That's some of it. I think that's some of it, and I do think this extreme dry weather though, it's just, the moisture left in the road, it's liable to shove when we get enough moisture. I mean, it's kind of,
They don't
have the other side.
a lot of moisture missing right now. I don't know about you guys, I had 3 inches of rain and there wasn't any mud in my yard at all,
Barely filled the cracks.
so.
There was a little bit in my ditch when I walked out Sunday morning, but it didn't stay there long.
Yeah, same here, my water holes didn't last all day, so, anyway. But that's the asphalt, that's the
Okay.
change order on the asphalt.
Motion 2022-18, request authorization, nope, that's not it.
Yeah.
2022-18, based on the recommendation of the interim road and bridge superintendent, move to approve a change order 1 for A 2202-C hot mix asphalt project, approximately 2.5 miles of 1.5 inch hot mix, 26 width overlay on 11th Road, Kafer Road to Links Road, 11th Lane to Kafer Road, so on and so forth, for 74.78 tons of additional asphalt required to correct subgrade failure, for total increase of $7,893.78 to the contract.
Also moved.
Tom moved,
I'll second.
Tim second, any discussion more? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Now, on the next one, Jeff, had we already advertised for full-time?
Yes, that's the 22-39 above. Was
Okay.
the
So that had
back
already
on-
been advertised?
back on 8/1.
Okay.
Right.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
there's the date, okay. Motion 2022-39, move to review and approve CP2 for Carl McWilliams, new hire, heavy equipment operator, full-time, subject to regular IPP, wage classification of 35-1 with the wage of 18.38, effective 8/29/22.
I'll make the motion.
Tim's moved,
I'll second.
Don second, any discussion?
Do we have a copy of it? Can't review it if we don't have a copy. I mean, I don't think there's any questions, but it says
Again with
review and approve, so.
Mhm.
Again, with the ride-along with Jeff, we did talk about, the, ability to hire, or having a hiring pool, if you will. It was mentioned that maybe we ought to change our policy of having to live within the county to acquire, I don't know how you wanna word it. But
I don't know,
just-
that would
just
just
get
be, that would be
more
up-
applicants.
That'd be up to you guys to discuss.
I mean, some more applicants, and it makes sense to me, and I have talked to a few people that work for, I mean, like, I say a few, one or two. My new neighbor down at my office is, Osage County appraiser. They don't have the policy, it's just gets them more people to apply for certain
Larger
openings.
pool.
Larger pool.
We've been getting good applicants, by the way.
And
Just-
not that you're not, but it still helps.
Right.
I mean,
I have a problem with that, because I think when you're paying Coffee County taxpayers money to people, they ought to be spending it and living in the county and spending it, so that's just my thing.
I don't
my take on it.
totally disagree with you on that, but I think it's getting harder and harder.
yeah.
City
Yes,
of
it may be.
City of Burlington don't have
But
I mean, they don't
until
have
it
that
really
policy.
gets the time where it's a tough deal, I would not suggest just start throwing it out there.
Jeff, on the average, like an equipment operator, how many applications?
2 or 3.
That's what I was afraid.
Well, I know being an employer, it's very tough in the world today to hire. It's very tough to hire people, period, or to get people to apply, and then you've got to weed out the between the lines stuff, and by the time you factor all that in, there's not much pool out there.
That was just a discussion we had. That's a you guys' decision, not mine at all. Just throwing out ideas. I mean,
But there's a difference when you're paying private industry and you're paying with taxpayers' money. To me, there's a difference.
I do
I
agree.
understand that.
I do agree.
Yep.
It's tough in employing.
When you're competing with Walmart at $27 an hour, starting in Ottawa, Kansas, that's tough.
Mhm. Yep.
we have a lot of good people. That's sure not a complaint of mine. A lot of good people, a lot of good applicants.
Yeah, that was not my meaning for bringing it
Sure.
up.
No,
It's
I
just,
know. No, I know. Just
So you do got a good group of people down there.
Right. So,
So motion 2022-39 still on the floor. It's been moved, seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Seemed like a good time to bring it up, yeah.
sure, understand.
Not taken away from Mr. Carl there, but didn't mean it that way.
It's okay.
That's all.
We don't know if we don't talk about it, right?
That's right.
I'm sure there's probably gonna become a day that
And there may be.
we might have to.
And I see it coming,
Yes.
and, you know, and I don't mean this offensively either, but I mean, when you look at a lot of vehicles around here, there's not a whole lot of them that say Cromartie, Ford, or Chevrolet either, so.
Mhm.
I don't mean that in a bad sense, I'm just saying. Most of mine do.
Pretty well all I had, unless you guys have any questions, comments for me.
Everything get done with the truck? Have you got the truck yet?
Got the truck. There was a couple issues that they're working on. They'll get it. It's actually getting
Kenworth issues or bed issues?
Kenworth.
Kenworth?
Yeah, and they're taking care of that.
Okay.
So, that was actually in right now, getting the new vehicle, whatever you call it, shit, I don't know, they're checking it in, Kenworth is.
Oh, doing the.
Yeah, and there was a couple of bed issues too, actually, but we're gonna take that back to Fulton and have them, they're gonna fix that, so.
They're gonna do that at Fulton?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, so, we'll get that taken care of. Nice truck, just a couple things missed. Yeah, both vehicles come in, they're nice, the Kenworth and the Dodge, the sign truck.
Oh, you got it in now?
Got in as well, so it's in good shape.
Good.
That's all I got. I will be going from this meeting to Overbrook, and my phone does not work in Overbrook very good at all, so if there's any issues if you got any issues with the bills, feel free to give Michelle a call. She's pretty up to date on all
You
that.
won't have any service.
Come to find out yesterday, I didn't have any from Beto Junction to Overbrook or
don't?
back.
You don't?
0, so.
And if you go east over Brush, there's none.
Well, I figured I better pass that out in case you guys have a question on the bill.
Did you guys get your new shredder, your chip, tree?
No, it's not come in yet.
Okay.
It has not come in yet.
And, 23rd Road, the chips?
Picked
that were
up.
in the ditch, you got
They're
it picked up?
yeah.
Okay.
And we'll potentially go back and do a little seeding this fall.
Okay.
The landowner happy.
Yes, well, landowners happy.
That's gonna be.
Ryan went and talked to him. I think probably not too happy with me still. Feel like I lied to him, but,
I see, I didn't got that.
you know, I think my failure there was, you know, there was a third party come in and probably should have been there to help observe what was going on. Bottom line, is the only thing, I mean, I'm trying to figure out what could have went so wrong there. That'd be the only thing I can think of.
I just so the commission knows, I just pretty much laid it out black and white, because they was upset with the trees that were, the tree limbs that were taken off that were overhanging canopy of the road. And, I received a lot of text messages, lots, and, I just basically laid it out there online and said, folks, if you look at the easement, if you go back to the easement and go straight up in the air, we can do whatever we want in between A and B. So, basically just, if I understand you like your canopy over your road, I get it 100%. But that's not the way every other county road is, so.
You know, like I said, I think about my failure on that project was, should have been there to, or had a representative there, kinda keep an eye on a third party, working in our right of way, and to work it to where it worked out for us, the landowner and the company moving the product.
Their biggest irritant was, they made it through with the first one, why'd they have to come through and cut even more?
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
You know, if it was the same dimensions, and I agree with that, and I was not there, and so I couldn't answer that
And
question.
I didn't
so.
follow up on that.
Yeah.
Here it's gone, it's.
Yeah, your permit
done, so-
was for 2 pieces of equipment, that same dimensions, why did we have to go back and cut more trees? That was their main complaint.
Yep.
So, but I told them, inside the easement, that's coffee cans.
No, it is. Brian's done a heck of a job, working with them, you know, and he builds relationships all over the county, and, you know, then one little thing like this can kinda mess it up, so hopefully we're good moving forward.
Yeah.
So, did you have a copy of the road permit?
No.
I don't know what the heck is the deal. It's just information anyway, but the road permit, cut a road. So, that's all I've got.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
I'm still getting some aqua patch. I thought it'd be raining. Oh, we could be done shipping by the end of the day, or depends on the rain. Then we'll see what happens with fog seal.
Do you need this copy back, Jeff, or is that just?
It's just a copy. Good.
Very well, be careful. Mr. Bobby Skipper, Economic Development.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Commission.
Good morning.
I have, this morning I have 2 option real estate agreements to purchase property within the county. One option is for a 71-acre tract of land located on Highway 75, close to the Vito Junction. The other option I have is for a 127-acre tract of land, also located on intersection of Highway 50 and Highway 75, close to Vito Junction. My request today is that the commissioners allow and authorize the chairman to sign these options to purchase. Now, these options give the county the exclusive right to purchase this property for an extended period of time. This is not to purchase the property. Signing these documents simply allow you the option to purchase the property at a later date. And I'll present these 2 originals to the chairman.
Let them review.
Yes, sir.
And did you get the piece of paper that Wade was?
I just got finished talking with Wade. He has, after reviewing that document, it has built in exactly what he was wanting to do.
Okay.
So it does not need a separate affidavit.
Okay.
Wade has approved these.
Yes, sir.
Everything same value we was talking about, correct?
Yes, sir.
send them back this way.
Okay.
And I'll have you copies here shortly.
Motion to direct the chairman to sign real estate purchase agreements, options, on 2 properties in the Vito Junction area.
Those need to be fully identified in the motion that we're talking about.
You could, but they're public record now. I am gonna record them.
I could give the address. One US 75 FRN, half mile southwest quarter, S11, T19, R15 is the 70 acres. And address 1222 Old Highway 50, Lebo, Kansas is 127 acre option. Did you move?
I'll move.
Tim's moved.
Second.
Tom second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you, sir. All right.
There you go, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, commissioners.
Thanks for
Thank
your
you.
work on all.
Yes, sir.
Lot of running. Is it hot in here, or is it just me?
It's hot.
Okay, thank you. I'm sweating. 9:30, Goldberg and Associate Architects, not here yet.
I don't think they're out there, so if you're ready.
If they're out there, they can come in. If not, we'll take a break and on your air conditioning.
I'll go for the break.
I didn't notice it.
It must just be me, I don't know.
No,
I'm having hot flashes.
I feel like,
Well,
especially now since you mentioned it.
There's going to be a palm leaf over here. Start to steam up my glasses.
you gotta make the air conditioner work before I get up there.
Nobody's out there.
Yeah, Andrew, maybe serious.
It's down.
You're cool, huh? You're cool. I guess we'll take a, I don't know, 10-minute break.
Well, it works.
Current fund balance, just a current fund balance.
Okay. I like updated balances. Goldberg Architects? You're up, sir. Sorry, I don't know your name.
I'm Kurt Ramback.
Kurt? Okay.
So the next step for the law enforcement center is to try and get a contractor on board. And then we were recommending, doing the construction manager at risk is like a delivery method, and it's outlined in kind of the state statutes of, you know, how they want you to go about that. So it's a 3-step process. You can send out this request for qualifications, which I have a draft copy kind of, so you can see what that could look like. We have 8 or 10 groups like contractors we work with that would express an interest, and so we'll send them a copy of what you guys are comfortable moving forward with, and then publish it in the paper a couple of times. It should all be outlined in here. And then, so once you hear back from these guys with their qualifications, you can select 3 to 5 that you would like to move forward with, and then you would set up an interview process. And our RFP is a request for proposal that'll follow the qualifications, and that's where they'll give you kind of what their fees are. And then you would choose from that short list down to who you want to move forward with.
What's the difference between a construction manager and a project manager?
The construction manager builds the building, and they'll have like, the construction manager is gonna break down the project into scopes. So there'll be like mechanical scope, masonry scope, whole bunch of them, and then once you have them selected, they'll start putting those groups together, and they should present to you like, 3 bids for masonry, three bids for kind of everything, and then you guys can select which is the most appropriate. But you want, not necessarily always the cheapest. Usually you want to go with the lowest cost, but you want to make sure it's vetted in someone that can do the work or whatever. So the construction manager is going to write the contract for all of those scopes. So you would have a contract with the CM, and then you would have a contract with us, and then they kind of manage the building. We manage the design with our team.
Okay.
Project manager role would do more paperwork. Usually they would be kind of keeping schedules and everything on board,
Okay.
but they don't sign the contracts with the actual builders.
So this is to advertise for a construction management
Mm-hmm.
team, I guess is what it is. Individual or a team, more than one.
So you would send this. We have a list. It'd be Lloyd Builders, Universal, KBS, McCown Gordon, Naples, River City, Structure Projects, and J.E. Dunn are kind of some of the bigger contractors we've worked in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And this would be open to anyone else. Those are just a list of people,
Okay.
that we know, and that's why we publish it in the paper and make sure that this is as transparent as possible. So it would be, someone from that company would be the construction manager, and then the group of people that come later, like the actual mason, electrician, kind of a few months down the road, if that makes sense.
So you have a construction manager who oversees that, but you have a project manager who oversees the construction manager, basically.
We don't have.
You don't?
We don't. We have, like, you are the commissioner, so you would be the client, and then you would have, like, we would perform some of that management role, like construction administration is part of our typical contract, and then you'll have, the contractor will have their own manager.
But we will hire a project manager that oversees everybody else that works on this project, is that correct?
You can, if you like.
Usually the
And we
general construction manager, general contractor, if you will, has a projects manager for them that coordinates all the subcontractors to where everything's moving forward the way I would perceive it.
This project manager, the one I think Jesse's talking about, would oversee as it's being built,
So you
basically
you
being
got-
our
right.
eyes.
You guys want, hire somebody for you, or us?
For
Yes.
us, and we don't wanna hire the construction people, project manager, we want our own that works for us.
B&I are our eyes.
Yes.
So, do you know who did this role, who performed this role in Lynn County?
I don't think we had a separate project manager. I think we
They
did
Well,
in the
the
contract.
construction manager.
Construction manager was River City.
Okay, River City. So, who went on that tour? So,
I'm in down, it wasn't
But he was a
really a
project-
curve.
Production manager, wasn't he?
no, he was the construction
construction
I meant,
manager.
apologize, I meant construction. Yeah.
I know Lynn County did not have a
Project.
project manager.
Well, so you have, like, I don't know if you met them, but you have like Joe, Warren, and Bill. And so Warren would have done a lot of those management tasks, whereas then Bill was the superintendent who would have been there with the mason guy to keep it moving.
But they did not have a project manager as far as the commissioner's eyes being.
They had nobody overseeing it for the county.
Correct.
So it was like the county would have an architect contract with us and the contractor.
Project manager.
And then, so then that's why the architect has an ethical responsibility to always act in the best interest of the owner, and then that's why then we stay on through the construction administration process. So like if there's a change order or something in the scope between your contract with the contractor changes, then like the standard AIA forms and the standard process is we have to agree to everything. So any change order would have your signature, our signature, and the contractor's signature. So that there is that checks and balances built into the system. They have a owner's representative, isn't really uncommon with kind of government projects, but usually the owner's rep would be brought in even before us, and they would kind of help you select an architect earlier in the process. But if you want, I can look into, I don't know, is there a group or someone you would be interested in working with as a separate third-party project manager role?
Well, we don't know anybody, we don't know the people. I mean, this is what Goldberg told us, that this is what he would, and this where the extra, the 25,000 or whatever it was, that he gave back.
The 25 went with the municipal advisor.
Municipal advisor.
That would be
Okay.
Mr. Varenberg. This is, I think, in the proposal, the 85, if I'm thinking of the same thing. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think what you're talking about is somebody completely different that may not even be a part of what the figures are.
Correct. Right.
County eyes,
Somebody-
county representative.
Somebody has no connection to this project other than they work for
Or
us.
any other construction
Right,
company.
right.
Somebody who's completely.
I think we're talking, we're getting on two different, I think we're getting on two different sides, or three different sides, so. We'll have a later date of somebody that's gonna be our eyes for Coffee County on this project, that we want, not that anybody else wants it, we want. So,
So if I remember from our trip to Lynn County, you said that Warren was maybe the one who took us on the tour, I don't remember. If I remember his conversations, he would go through and inspect what was done, and let's say some welds were not done right, then he would come back and say, these welds are poor, they need to be redone, and hold the people accountable that are doing the welding so that it's done right the first time. Is that an accurate assessment?
Yeah,
What
Warren
this person would be doing?
and Bill was there every day. He was
So,
making sure.
so that's part of their role, Bob, just so you know, so they walk around and make sure the people who are actually doing the building, they're not cutting corners, and then if they are, I don't wanna say cutting corners, cause that's not fair. The integrity of what they've done is in question, and it needs to be done differently or redone, so it's right, and it meets what, the architect says in his plans, cause you can build a house a bunch of different ways. You can build it to make it stand up, or you can build it to make it stand up and withstand a F1 tornado.
I agree with needing somebody to keep all the mice in check that's on the job,
Yeah.
on their end of it.
Because the commission doesn't have the knowledge or the time to do that.
No. So, and I guess that's what we're thinking.
So that'd be your construction manager.
Yep.
So our construction administration
Yeah.
would be where we would go out every couple of weeks, also do a field walking, and then if we catch a bad weld or whatever, that's a second set of eyes, and then there are certain structure scopes that you'll have special inspections as well. So, you had, the geotech borings where they, drill the hole and told you what the dirt's made of, and then when they go and pour the foundation, like that company might have someone out there to make sure there isn't undue groundwater or something discovered that would make the concrete not perform the way they want it to. So the system now we have set up will have checks and balances, and everybody, the big thing, the owner, the contractor is gonna warranty all their work for 1 year, aside from, you have like a roof warranty from the roofer, but the contractor is there for a year, so if they do miss something, it's on them to fix it. So they have that built in, their reason to fix it is because they have to fix it before it's expensive to fix, if that makes sense.
So you're gonna give us some names and resumes, we can go through them and take a look and then read those down, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so our process with the RFP is we send this out to the contractors just to let them know we're ready. and then they'll send you, this kinda outlines what we're looking from them, but it's gonna be like, have you worked on this project type before? Can you get people to the site? So the first response we get from them is gonna be pretty generic, and that's where we'll come down and review those with you, and then you can select just a shorter list that you would wanna move forward with. And then those contractors, the second submittal would have a lot more detail of what their fees are and how they manage the project. And we'll wanna do like an interview, have everyone come in, you know, for half hour, 45 minutes, and they can sell their services, as well as that's a chance for you guys to ask them questions and make sure you're comfortable with what they're proposing.
That process is like on page 4 and 5, where you got phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. If you got 4 or 5 companies or businesses that want to be a part of it, you're gonna narrow that down to what you think is the best 2 or 3 for us to interview, is that correct?
Well, you guys,
Or are we gonna be the ones gonna narrow it down?
yeah, so like, we can't send out an RFP for you. We're gonna help set up kind of the language or what
Okay.
that format will be, but this will have to get sent out from you guys. And then and then this includes, like, everybody has to have, you know, 10 copies and a USB drive by September, whenever, so.
Okay, you get listed as September 30th as the date on this, for everything to be back in.
So if we
Is that correct?
move forward with that, then the next Monday, when you have a commission meeting, we'll come out and then you guys open the bids. At that first commission meeting, you don't really look at them, you're just gonna open them and say what company, maybe where they're from. And you'll get into the commissioner record, your minutes will include that you open the bids, and then we can review the bids as, whether it's an executive session or that'd be kinda offline. And we can help you with that, but that's ultimately you get to choose who you wanna move forward with.
Sounds good to me.
Good to me.
I mean, we've got to agree on this?
Yeah.
Is that
so-
what you're here for?
Have you had the opportunity to look at this place?
Well, so some things need to be probably modified. You need to pick the date. If the date's fine,
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd want to leave it at 2. Typically, you've done by 5 p.m. on a Friday. On page 2, it talks about turning the copies of what you are requesting to the commissioners. We need to switch that to Angie.
To the clerk's office?
Yep, to the clerk's office. So, and outside of that's pretty easy to fix. It's just what you're wanting to do.
With 2 fixes that I agree with it. I mean, it should be at 5 o'clock. That's the end of the day for that, instead of 2 o'clock
Okay,
on the 30th.
2 o'clock gives you a chance to leave the office an hour early or something.
30th is a Friday, so.
5 o'clock is fine too. So, Sydney in our office has been down here a couple of times, but she'll help put together the final, what you guys want this with your comments. So, if you guys take a day or 2 and make sure that this is what you want to move forward to, we can send this back to you with the, you know, little draft watermark removed and any other amendments you're interested in, and then we'll set some dates for sending this to the newspaper, which you guys probably know your newspaper better than I do, but
Right behind you.
that'll be, oh, there you go. So we'll help you with, like, a small, you know, something that fits in the newspaper rather than several pages.
I would say 4 p.m. date on that Friday instead of 5 p.m.
And we probably need to do this today if you want to just move me. Why would we 4?
If they want to bring it in at 4:30, all they're gonna do is hand them the envelope, and they're gonna file it. They're not going to open it or do anything with it.
Well, I mean, I guess they do have to be in the office until 5, right?
I think 5 is when we normally the time would work for them.
And sometimes the contractors run late, because everybody does.
You know, September 30th, now we get those news out, it's only a month away. September 32, quick to get everything out and everything back in as we'd like to see.
So you have September 30th, and then you have selection no later than October 31st, which is basically a month later. Is that intentional?
Yeah, it's kind of, okay, so I think the dates are set. If you guys are really ready to move forward, this is how long it's gonna take, but now to September 30 would be you guys approving, you know, moving forward with the RFP process, which you could, you know, that might be a motion and vote, and then we'll just do it. And then the 2 newspaper articles will be a week or 2 apart, so that puts you a month out as soon as we can get responses. And then, from the responses, like I said, is you open the bids, but you don't read them really yet until after that Monday, and then we want you guys to have a chance to look through it and understand what they submitted and give you, you know, if you guys have questions for us or whatever, before you pick who you want to move forward.
So we got until October 31st to decide on who we want.
Yeah.
Selection.
And then that'll be, the interviews come after that.
You know, the interviewing process, Kurt, we may not know exactly what questions we ought to be asking, because this is a total new ballgame for all of us. We need to make sure all the steps are in place. Do you set in on those interviews?
Yeah.
Do you prepare questions that we need to ask those, because we've always got kind of a procedure in place, try to ask all of our applicants, whether it's this or another project, you know, the same questions, to hopefully get the same response or whatever their response is. Do you prepare 8 or 10 questions?
Yeah, we can sit
Because
down.
like I said, we're in a different ballgame. We want to make sure we don't jump through that. We want to make sure all the loopholes are jumped through.
We can sit down with you guys beforehand and walk through kind of what, you know, what we would look at for questions. A lot of it, you know, our basis, the design is around like the steel cells, which are the pre-manufactured units with that rear chase and everything. So we want to make sure that if the contractor is going to sell their service like we do a lot of schools or whatever, that's not necessarily going to translate to this project type. So those would be kind of some of the questions of what experience they bring to the table based on what we designed around. And then process questions, like how you go about change orders, is always kind of a big deal. Most of it's fairly standard, but some of that stuff we can walk through with you guys and then give you something to talk to.
With changing the date and changing it to be sent to the clerk's office, let's get this project going. I move that we, with those changes, unless Wade has something on any other thing, that we go ahead. All this is basically a proposal to, it's not set in stone.
Just soliciting.
So this gets it out in the public,
Yeah.
and then everybody knows you're moving forward.
Right.
September's 30th, ample time to get responses back like you'd like to see.
Yeah, so this RFQ is going to be pretty straightforward, like cookie cutter stuff.
Okay.
So, and then when we do the RFP, then it's the more detailed submittal with your short list. So we don't want to, like if we send this to 12 people and they all are interested in the project, we don't want to waste their time too much, you know,
Right.
because there's too much competition and they're working for free. So
Sure.
the September 30 submittal should be fairly straightforward.
Okay.
And you're saying send it to the clerk, Angie, and then change to 4 o'clock?
Five
September
o'clock.
5 o'clock?
Places. And I'll bet you people who are gonna apply for this, they're just sitting here waiting to know it's gonna happen. They're watching us.
No, I'm sure.
They know what's going on.
Then this will also be posted on the county RFP portion of, wherever that goes, and Andrea can work with Rhonda to get that done.
Now, is it limited to like the roughly 10 that you,
No, we'll send this to the 10 or so that we know, just because we know they're interested, but anybody can submit a bid. And that's where kind of, you know, if you get someone local that's only done single-family residential, that's where, then we can sit down and say, maybe they don't have the experience we're looking for when you do the short list.
We need a motion.
Already made a
You
motion.
made a motion. Bob's moved.
all second?
Tim seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed with changes for at-risk construction management, I guess.
So we'll send you a revised copy. Just go to Angie or Andrea, what's the best way to
Either, probably Andrea.
Both.
Both,
Both.
just send them both.
So that way, Andrea, if you get on the website, and Angie's got a copy.
Okay, and if any questions come up with you guys, don't hesitate to ask. You know, we're around all day. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
I think that's it. That's all you got for us.
Thanks, Kurt, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You spell your name K-U-R or K-I?
C-U-R-T.
I'm sorry?
C-U-R-T-K-R-A-M-E.
C-U-R.
All right, thank you
All
all.
right, thank you. That concludes our agenda for today. Now, we have checks and vouchers.
No name. We've got, try round table, see if we can make it longer for you.
Oh. Do wait.
Which way?
Which one?
That way.
He didn't bring anything to talk about.
I know, he didn't have a snack.
Didn't have
But-
nothing in it.
Thought the agenda was longer. I have to step out, but I'll come back while you're doing checks and vouchers.
Angie, any roundtable goodies?
Yeah, I sent some changes to the spreadsheet to Christina on things that have already been handled, so she was gonna review those on some of the, issues that were in there from the, payroll audit or whatever, the HR audit, I should say. So I'm waiting to hear back from her on those. I also sent an email out to clerks asking which, different software they use for their employees for time clock. And, I didn't get back very many, but the ones I did get back, a lot of them are using the Time Clock Plus, which is already integrated with CIC. So, there's a couple that are using different versions. And so I got a quote from the Time Clock Plus, an updated quote on that. And then I'm supposed to talk to another company, tomorrow. They're gonna do a demo with me and find out. I put a call into the PeopleSoft that Wade had mentioned, and I couldn't get anyone to call me back still. So, depending on what we do, if we were to go, say, like, just for example, Time Clock Plus, I know that we can get things moving, I think she said by October or November, to where we could have it in and ready to go January 1. So, if you want me to listen to this other one and see what they have to say this week, I can find out from them. I can still try to touch base with the PeopleSoft again. And then maybe make a decision next week or something.
Is there, on that Time Clock Plus, is there options for like an iPhone or something? Is it an app as well?
It's an app as well, yeah. They do the geofencing, so
yeah.
you can be, at home and clock in on your phone,
Or you can be at the office,
Or at the
clocking in on
office.
the computer.
Yeah,
If
there's
people don't
all
want
options
to
for
use
that.
their phones,
Mhm.
so.
So,
I think most people, once they realize, I'm just gonna use my phone, it's easier.
It does help.
You know, and I think a lot of this is my phone, not company, not county phone, I think it'll kind of go by the wayside, I hope.
the only issue we may run into is, like with this other company I was gonna talk to and the PeopleSoft, if they're not already integrated with CIC, that may take us more time.
Right.
So, if that's an issue, we may only have the one option to choose from,
Right.
so.
Well, and I believe
If
you wanna run trials for a month or two,
Mhm.
just to get people used to
Yeah.
signing in and doing what they're supposed to be doing and so on and so forth.
Just my opinion, but I'd say wait a week,
Okay,
check with the other
yeah.
one or two.
Now, I have a question, Jesse, like, since when you're talking about geofencing, so say somebody overslept, but they live within a certain, is it just the courthouse, so if somebody lives right across, right down the road, they can clock in from home, meanwhile, they just got out of bed, can you tell where they clocked in from?
Yes.
Should be able to.
Yes, right, it's two,
Okay.
it's
The
no different
geofencing ought
than find your.
to be county property anyway, it shouldn't be.
shouldn't be any
across the
further
street,
than
should be
that.
county property.
And it will show that. It pinpoints, it's no different than finding your iPhone.
Most of them, you can't do anything unless you're a half mile from the location. So most of that would be for like your road graders that are out in the county. You could give that address, and then they could clock in a half mile prior to that address. I mean, nothing says they can't clock in and then turn around and go outside that
Right,
address.
right.
You know, but they have to be there to clock.
It's kinda scary how pinpointed
Yeah,
it is.
It is, but, I mean, most of that would be for your geo fence.
Yes.
To ensure that that individual was at that machine or at that location.
And that can be done.
So,
On the proposed handbook, I've been through it a time or two and made some notes. Most of it's an update of our old one with some changes in it from HR Director Christina. Have you looked through the proposed handbook memo and
I've gone
and
through
put
it.
your put your inputs into it?
I mean, I have, but it all depends on where it goes. It depends on whether you see changes that are needed, or you like what's there, or you don't like what's there. I mean, you wanted an update, so you have an update, but some of the updates or recommendations may not be exactly in line with what you're wanting, or they may be right on point. So I think at some point in time, maybe now's the time to put it on the agenda so it can be discussed. And weed out what you like, weed out what you don't like. You may like all of it, and then it will be ready to move forward, but also have Christina here, so that if there are things that are changed or modified, she can give you the reasons why she's making that recommendation, that this, it's changed significantly. And I know Jesse probably really likes it because it's a lot less thick.
Still not down to 10 pages though.
I said 2, front and back, so.
Can you get with Christina and see when she could be down here?
Do you want Angie?
Yeah,
Okay.
I will, thanks.
All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, get us on as soon as she can.
Okay.
So we can get this moving forward. So I think everybody's, I mean, a lot of us have went through it and seen what needs to be, or could be, or doesn't need to be.
You know, but by adopting a brand new handbook, although it's tied back to the old one, I'm sure that an awful lot, it may be one of those deals, we need to adopt something with some changes, and then it may end up being a work in process for a few months until we get some of the bugs worked out of it.
Somebody else is gonna wind up reading and bringing something that we didn't catch.
So it's one of those deals, to me, it's probably maybe a work in process for 6 months. Even
I'm
though we're
sure
trying to
the
do the
old one
best job
was
we
like
can
that.
to put the best product out there.
The handbook is always a work in progress.
I know.
Because we spent thousands of dollars with this firm for 6 or 7 years. We got it back. Now we're trashing most of it, and we have had so many different changes from the time we got it back from this professional company. So it's a work in progress, no matter what you get. It's always going to be.
I mean, the law is the same way. That's why we have a legislative branch. They go in and there's a word that's missing, so they have to fix it, or they strike something. So every year, the law is fluid. On your payroll side of things, I'd recommend, if at all possible, and Angie's the one that can answer this, is you have a demo on, the CIC, so you can see what it looks like, how it works, and you bring the big TV in here and look at it that way.
January 1st will be here real quick.
Yes, it will.
It's marching right down the tracks, yeah.
We've had the handbook in our hands for 3 or 4 weeks, so we probably ought to try to get something done here in September.
Anything else?
No, if you would like, I could probably get a demo arranged for next week, possibly, if I can,
It's fine.
if it works. I don't know, I might be speaking out of line because I haven't talked to him yet, but if, just get something going right away.
It would work.
Next week will be on a Tuesday, so.
Yeah. I'll try to do that.
Yep, holiday next Monday.
Yeah.
Tim?
On the KNRC, Kansas Natural Resource Coalition. They're on the fish and wildlife part, pretty hard. They wrote letters, and they're gonna be touching with them, fish and wildlife, in their new agenda. I mentioned endangered species. Well, they expanded it in their new guidelines, and the endangered species does not have to be from Kansas to be adopted into Kansas. And with that part, the surrounding habitat, if they adopt something into Kansas, can and be, and probably will be controlled, which concerns me a lot. So I'm gonna be staying on top of this and watching it very closely.
So in a nutshell, if they adopt endangered species, let's just say wolf, and one of them shows up in your CRP grass, using it as a habitat, you can't touch that CRP grass or the property.
And the
Because
wildlife, fish and wildlife will have a say in that.
If it shows up in your chicken pen,
You
you
can't
can't go get
do
it, you
nothing
can't go
about
get
it.
it direct.
Yeah.
Kinda scary, but that's the world we live in now.
So we're gonna roll back a little bit. K-State introducing the armadillos to the state of Kansas.
That was fun.
So everybody thought they was just hitching a ride on the northbound trucks out of,
They ended up adopting them into the state of Kansas.
and I believe they was put up there on Forbes, not Forbes Field, but the military base.
Fort Riley.
Fort Riley.
Yep,
So it's happening, people.
it's nothing that's 5 years down the line. But that's an interesting read, if anybody wants it.
I think
But-
the endangered species is people with common sense.
Yeah, with
But
you.
that's one thing KNRC is on top of, and they've wrote federal letters, and they've got the Fed's attention, and they're staying on it. And they're very good at that, holding up for us. Now, they've got a webinar that I'm gonna try to be on Thursday, just to be paying attention, and I'm thinking, isn't it December, they're gonna have their in-person, and I'm gonna go out to it at Dodge City. I wanna be staying on top of it. But that date's not actually set yet.
Now, you had something here last week, I thought you were gonna say on the, was it GS, whatever that, ESG?
ESG has got Roger Marshall's attention.
That's right.
And I talked to his administration assistant last week, and they're gonna be doing a press release that we can hand out here and keep people up to date on what they're doing to fight it. They have concerns with it and the digital currency. And of course, the banks and the financial part.
Have we figured out who's pushing the digital currency yet? Has that been brought out yet?
Looks like to me a lot of it's coming from the Federal Reserve.
That's what I'm thinking, 'cause it's all, you wouldn't need the 87,000 IRS agents if it was all digital currency.
That's a concern. That's a big concern.
'Cause it's all right there.
Yep, yep,
That's a done deal for them, hiring 87,000.
it's done.
That's done.
We've got that to be in the future to look
87,000.
at and deal with.
Shouldn't be anybody looking for a job, shouldn't it?
Shouldn't be anybody.
Everybody ought to be able to have a job now.
Yep.
Kinda scary. Kinda scary is when you look into 85% of the people that gets audited it makes less than 200,000 a year.
Mhm. Now you got?
That's it for today.
Tom, you got a sobering look on your face.
Church bids,
Church bids, oh, yeah. We're
Yeah.
supposed to open them, wasn't we? There wasn't a set time on that?
this last
It was
week.
like, yeah, they were.
It'd be in the 5 o'clock.
Yes,
Okay.
That'd be in by 5 o'clock Friday and open.
So hopefully this is stacked this big.
I bet you it's two.
I don't care if it's one that's willing to do
It needs
it.
to
Correct,
go.
correct, that helps.
Hopefully it won't be as disappointing as I'm thinking it
Looks
might
like
be.
she's
Boo.
I was hoping,
I'm bracing
Looks like she's
myself.
two or
I
three.
was hoping some,
I see two.
so it says,
That's a good guess.
two's good.
the Fish and Wildlife Service says, believes that the gray wolf would thrive in Kansas. once
He wasn't.
There was designated region in which to introduce it, and you put land restrictions affecting landholders.
Yep,
Wow.
you ready to have one in your backyard?
Well, yeah, might get rid of armadillos.
I don't know whether they like armadillos.
Or do we announce?
Yeah.
Schmidt Excavating LLC.
Hey, Mark, I've got a copy of that. Do you,
I'll get on.
I've got one too. I'll give you
I'll get
mine.
on my laptop.
Alright.
And, yeah. Seems like I've been doing a lot more reading on that anymore.
I can put in a different envelope.
Two copies.
Because it included everything that we,
Okay. Oh, Lord. I already said that, didn't I?
that part's probably everything that we sent out.
Well, I kinda thought maybe there'd be a spot in there that. Nope, okay. Demolition request for proposal. Bid summary. List the cost of each component for which you are bidding. Bids. $159,100. Component 1, $65,500. Component 2, $65,178. Excavating and earth moving, $28,200. Utility work, $300. Total cost of the project, $159,100. Smith.
What's your $40,000 budget, Tim?
I don't know if there's anything on this environmental. I don't see any more numbers.
So the total project, 159,100.
Yep,
Okay.
Reclaiming none.
doesn't state there.
No.
No,
Gonna say
that's what I'm
anything.
interpreting from this viewpoint.
And I don't know what's. Blackstone, okay, yeah, this is all just. Yep, that's all the same. Okay. Next is Victory Excavating. Just two bid, $97,718. Component 1, 67,000 even. Component 2, 8,500. Excavating, earth moving, 18,518. Utility work, 3,700. Total project, $97,718.
Do we need to have Wade do that?
I would-
To make sure everything is as we requested? It sounds like it's broken down, and evidently that was a total request in 4 different areas. I'm disappointed some of them salvage people didn't show up.
See, I am too.
Well, once
I'm
it's
sorry?
probably deemed asbestos, they
I
probably
think
just
it's
walk
gonna
away.
scare it,
Yeah.
through the, yeah.
That's the way I feel.
But on the brick,
Yeah, a lot of that stone stuff be,
I guess, well, that flavor just offsets it enough that you can't afford to.
I don't think the asbestos was severe, I think it's just the idea that the word asbestos just totally goes.
Have Wade review them, make sure all the i's are dotted and t's are crossed, I guess.
might say the only option, except the low bid, or
Best bid.
touch base with that one guy we found on the internet. I don't know, try again, but I don't know. Think about it, I guess. They say out there, salvage people show up and want some of that stuff. And maybe that's,
If no
Big
objection, I might call the one in Topeka.
you just see why he didn't show up.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like we can do anything now.
Yeah.
This is out, but
This is it.
Yeah, there's a bid.
and maybe it wouldn't be any different than the 97,000 if they were salvaging something, because I know Mike salvaged stuff from projects before or something.
He might be planning on it. I
You know,
think.
it's obvious out there on the corner, isn't it?
Yeah. So my only other thing for round table would be this, the jail financing. Has anybody thought more about this, trying to keep it as local? It looks like we could save $1 million or more dollars in financing doing it. If those numbers are correct.
I do know we have to bond some up
We-
to,
And that's what, yep, the bond attorney told me too. You have to do a certain amount as it is, but you don't have to do all of it.
right.
I mean, I know there's still time yet, but just wanted to plant that seed, I guess. I mean, I would be all for it, to save $1 million.
Yeah, you gotta save what you can save.
Well, yeah. Just a touch over $1 million.
Mm-hmm. Well, and not doing bonding right up front is, gonna save about $1.5 million. Use up to that 10 million
Right.
of our own. Drag that out until 2023 is gonna save over $1 million.
So there's $2 million.
There's almost $2 million that you can save.
Yeah.
So what happens when you do bond this out? Because we bond up to 20 million, and then I think it says that will be paid from the county. So if you go spend 10 million on it, how you gonna get and it only comes out 28 million, how you gonna get your 2 million back? You've already bonded for 20.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to really be careful on how you do that.
Well, that's a
too.
question we won't wanna
Your
ask.
your bids are gonna come in before you start writing any checks.
You're gonna know that.
So you spend if it's 28 million, you spend your 8, save the other 20.
Mhm.
By the time we know what those bids are, we're probably not gonna have over 4 or 5 million spent.
No. Well,
The only thing I have, if you, and bond, something I've never ever dealt with, I've got a better understanding of it now than I did a week or 2 weeks ago, but, you know, if we don't issue those bonds for another 13, 14 months, interest goes up another 1%, we've lost that $2 million. I mean, what it looks like might be a savings now, might end up being a cost item later on.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it does look like interest rates are gonna continue to work up, although that's a projection. We seen what happened last week. Projections September will be another one, but we don't know.
Yep. Anything else, Tom?
That's it for me.
Bob, do you have anything?
Not this time, but boy, I'm building a list.
You're building a list?
These are already tearing paper on, so. We do need to do something on the bond, you know, the time frame on to execute and get our thoughts all put together, I'm not real sure, but I guess that's the reason we got Joe retained to, you know, guide us through that process.
Yeah.
If we went with a local / bond both, what's the happy range?
That's a decision we'll have to make if we
I
decide
think
to go.
depend on the interest.
I gotta talk to Joe again, but I think he said we had to do $1 million at a minimum, bond out $1 million.
I believe it's 2. In the
And that
meeting,
could be
in the
right.
meeting here, I think he said 2.
And that could be
Two,
right.
two's what I remember.
Okay.
So-
You weren't there when you said that, but.
I called him on the phone one day and just spoke in general, so maybe it was to digest for me, but, so, I don't know. Something to be thinking about, for sure.
Oh, yeah, we gotta be thinking about it.
Just get, I mean, I'm gonna probably call Joe again and talk to him again, make sure I'm understanding it correct. You know, and I know he's got some stake in it too, so, you know, he makes money off selling bonds, so I mean,
Right.
I get it, but we still, if it saves $1 million plus, I think we ought to do it, so.
If we issue, you know, bonds out like 10 and 10, there is some extra cost on his part to make that all work.
I understand.
Around $60,000, as he talked to me last Wednesday. The other side of it is, you know, we don't know what the interest rate's gonna be on the time frame, but say that in his proposal, if it goes wide open, it comes in at 3 or 3.5. The other 10 stays local, and it comes in at, you know, may come in at 2.5, may come in at 3. What happens if it comes in at 5? We get the right to refuse that.
That'd be a Joe question.
That may be, and I like supporting our local entities, you know, local businesses. But we also gotta make the best decision for the citizens, like Bob brought up last week. And we were told it was 3.1 last week, if it had been issued. That's probably gonna change, but, to me, I've got concerns on, if we don't do the full 20, you know, the chances are the full 20 is gonna get a lower rate than splitting it up. That's an assumption. And the direction we need to go, we need some leadership and hopefully make the right decision to the best interest of everybody involved. As far as roundtable, Sue already covered what I was gonna.
Yeah, I don't have anything other than what I discussed about the trees, property owners, that's all I had, I think. Andrew, you got any?
Not really. The extension office was gonna be getting with the property owner to let them know what they found. So they were taking care of that from their end.
Is that other than this, the final report?
So they were gonna get with the property
Oh,
owner.
they was gonna tell the property owner, but they did not take tissue samples, the way I understand it on this.
From
Found on
reading,
what?
yeah, no actual chemical analysis.
The trees and the tomato plants and so on and so forth that were hurt.
Oh, okay,
Possibly the other side,
okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Other than that, the church was it.
Okay. guess. That just covers roundtable. Wade said he was gonna be back later on.
It was a warning.
It was a warning. We better sign our checks and vouchers quick and leave,
Yeah.
right?
Adjourn.
All right, we'll go into checks and vouchers.
Would you put this on your skills, and that way you can check that out?
Almost looks like a shorter stack.
It doesn't look too bad.
Of course, that's road and bridge, there's the big stack.
Oh, there, it's hiding it from us, wasn't she?
I just want to scratch it while you're having it.
Yeah, it's already hot enough over here in this corner. I feel like I'm in a hot seat. Somebody turned my seat heater on or something.
What we're doing now, Wade, we're spending about $1 million right now for everything we owe and wages for the 1 month.
For the month, right? Yeah.
It's normally in that $1.3 million, $1.4 million.
That's chicken feed compared to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
On the month. But, no.
People wanna know how come sometimes we have reserves and stuff. That's one of the reasons, because
Because stuff comes
it
along.
takes $1 million or more a month just to pay the bills.
Right.
I gotta quit, I'm guessing.
These bids you had, that's for removal of the church?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
When you're on the end here, you wait. You get to snoop before you get to the,
Yeah. Right.
See, you caught the same frog I had.
What happened to my water?
You can have my cup of coffee.
You haven't had water out today.
No, I haven't had my water, or no water to it.
It hasn't been there all
I haven't
day.
been there all day.
I have no idea.
I bet you they're on service, you wouldn't carry nothing with you, Bob.
I don't carry it.
Maybe you would put up that sign to
I'm mad they're out of tea in the vending machine.
Is that his photo in front of you, Jessica?
That's mine.
Oh.
Black gold. Asphalt.
Oh, boy, the Bible says that, he had nothing to do with the DOJ, or that'd be a high going down.
That he remembers.
or what he had for breakfast.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, if a department's gonna go astray in the federal government, wouldn't this be the great time to do that?
I think it's already there.
They've been going astray. I got take it for a minute.
Sure. Sure. How many bills you put up this year?
Oh, about 4,000 so far. I don't know how many Paul's baled, more than that, I'm sure, around bales.
A lot of hay.
It's still an okay deal. It's not quite as much fun as it was 10, 20 years ago, for some reason.
So you miss putting up the small squares, is that what you're saying?
No,
Oh.
still in the barn. We still haul about a load a week, but that's enough. And I'm not the one starting loading them either.
There you go.
You're not the one in the hayloft?
I'm guy running the tractor, setting them on there, yeah, it's not my deal.
I gotta load a couple cow pots every day. Small squares, would that be something?
Used to put up 12 to 1,400 in the barn
Yeah.
40 years ago.
Done that one time, load a cow pot with small squares.
I did that up at Burles's, load a bull trailer, whoa.
We used to do a lot of that, and it's not much.
You can't stand up.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, at least there's a little bit of air in there. Them van trailers are really dirty.
You're putting them in box cars?
Oh, yeah.
That's nice and fun too, isn't it?
Not warm in there, is it, Bob?
Oh, yeah, nice, not warm, no.
What got me, I couldn't stand up.
I'd build a deal that we can push them in vans with.
I've seen that video.
Yeah, it really, it works pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
By that time, I was 30 years old and standing inside those trailers. Ugh.
We loaded, I don't know what year it was, several box cars with wheat straw, small square wheat straw one year. Greg Louie and I partnered up one year to bale a lot of wheat straw. Shipped it, I don't even remember now where we shipped it to.
Yeah.
I don't remember how many bales we got in those red box cars, but it was pretty warm.
George would send Brome out, and of course he wanted wire tie, and he wanted those bales as heavy as you could play fiddles on those wires. It was tight.
Good thing about those wheat straw, they didn't weigh but about 55 pounds.
Exactly.
Didn't weigh but about 55 pounds.
Well, alfalfa or clover, that's what handles the hardest. That
Yeah.
stuff is heavy and it won't slide, like you're throwing it up over your head, trying to push it.
No pushing.
It's hard to handle.
That's like grabbing a bag of sackcrete. That is the most
Yeah.
awkwardest thing to try to
You
carry.
can't get a hold of it.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
Red clover bales, and Dad had a lot of them.
Pretty hard to find alfalfa anymore.
That's a rare commodity.
Yeah, it is.
And then,
I located some down at Yates Center here 2 years ago I put quite a bit out for deer.
uh-huh.
And it was as good a high quality alfalfa I've ever seen, but he had the bales so tight they'd weighed over 100 pounds apiece. For me, that's pretty hard to handle.
That's,
The quality of the hay was tremendous.
What was the price, Don?
It was, that year was $200. It's probably 300 plus now. I don't know, but I paid $200 a ton for it.
yeah.
Those Amish boys over on the county line got some good alfalfa from somewhere. I don't know where it's from, but they got some in their barn.
I see.
Nice looking.
Taking all the fun out of here. Can't throw nothing anymore. Just sit here and be good.
We used to do that at city council meetings too.
Throw things.
Yeah.
You'll have some pretty rough
It
city
was always
council
like
meetings.
this, you know. You just don't understand.
So all of you sign each one of those, is that how that works?
Chairman gets the checks, they sign all the vouchers, pretty much.
Has to have at least 3 commission signatures on it.
I see.
And then the clerk signs it, and then the treasurer signs it, and Wade has to approve them too.
I see.
It's checks and balances. have any questions on them, you can call whoever signed it in and ask them how come that's set.
And you don't have to approve it.
Nope, you don't have to. Sometimes people sign them and don't read them.
You look at the name 90% of the time, you just move it and go on.
Yeah, you will learn what you need to look at and what you
The-
don't, over time.
The credit card invoices, we do look at them fairly close,
Uh-huh.
and there's others we look at pretty close. Oh, Amber.
Hello.
Good morning, Amber.
Good morning, everybody.
There's the big old stack of checks. Good grief. Heavier and heavier.
You ready for Wednesday, Amber?
Yes. Good thing is, we were pretty ready for July 20th, and they canceled it, so everything's still set up and ready to go.
Amber's on.
And I see we're, sold a bunch of scrap tires, cost $1.75 to
How do
get
you
rid
sell
of them.
something, how do you
And-
sell something and pay?
And we, probably a lot of those, we charged $1 for them when they came in.
So we're losing money.
We lost money on them at that rate, but now we're charging more, I think, but at that time,
I
we
think
probably
we
charging $1.
I think they moved that up to $2
Yeah.
here 3 or 4 months ago.
That's been a lot with that, all of those tires were, what we charged $1 with.
Before you bring in ice control stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a surprise to me, 'cause I didn't know it. Amber, whenever you're ready, we can stop. We'll stop and listen.
Haven't been up here in a while, so I wanted to come up and update y'all and talk a little bit about something I got going on. My head PIO, my public information officer that is playing during the drill, he had something come up that he has to go to for the evaluated exercise, and he's my top #1 PIO. I do have Bobby going, but Bobby's kind of new, he's only been one time. So I wanted to get someone in there that knows what they're doing, has a little seasoning behind them. And Kathy Autry had reached out to me about being in on drills and exercises, and some of you guys might remember Kathy. She's worked in E-Plan at Wolf Creek for a lot of years. And she actually started the public information, well, she didn't start it, but she got the public information out there at the EOF going and up at the state, and so she was instrumental in making sure that public information was good and worked the way it should. She retired a couple years ago from Wolf Creek, and so I have talked to her, and she expressed interest in coming back and being a PIO for the county. PIO is a position that we're short on a lot of times. I just did get 2 new PIOs. I snagged Sutton, and I got Brad from Angie's office. Brad did it way back with Vernon Burke, way back in the day, so he's a little familiar with it. But he hasn't been to a drill in, like, how many years has that been since Vernon's been here? Over 15, so
Over
20,
16.
yeah, over 20. So he hasn't been to a drill in 20 years. So I didn't feel like sending him on an evaluated exercise for a first time. So I asked Kathy if she could jump in. She had no problem. She actually went to the rescheduled pre-exercise they just had on the 18th of August. The only problem being, we have gotten PIOs that don't work for the county in the past, but they all worked for someone. so they were getting paid for their duties as a public information officer. We've had people from the city of Burlington, we've had the library administrator, we've had people from the hospital, people from different cities. We had the Waverly City Clerk one time, she was a PIO for us. And so I was trying to think of how to do this for Kathy, because she is retired, but she still should get paid for her time. And so I reached out to Angie and I asked Angie what she pays her election workers. And so she told me that for regular workers it's $10 and for supervising judges it's $12. Is that okay? So I feel like that we should pay Kathy for her time being a PIO during drills and exercises, and she could turn in a sheet to me or however we want to do that. And I've already talked to Wade about this, and he's kind of working on that with some of those other positions like janitors and stuff in other buildings that fell under the insurance liability. And he said that he really didn't feel like that Kathy going to drills was going to be a liability for the county, but he is checking on it. So I just want to get some feedback from you guys and see what you thought.
Where is she going? Where will she go?
She'll be going to the EOF, which is that building up by Beto.
75.
Yep, Wolf Creek building. And she lives halfway between here and there, so her travel time's going to be even less.
Either way.
Yeah.
So we will pay her mileage, all right?
Yep. The standard mileage. And she'd only have to do this a couple times a year. It's not like I'm paying her to go every week or anything. She would only go, she'd be on a team just like everybody else, just like all the PIOs. And I can even use her as a trusted agent / controller. She's pretty versatile in what she can do. So the job that Jared Schulte's doing this year for us, he's a trusted agent. He's been in on the planning of this drill since the beginning. He may not want to do it next year, so I may need someone to jump into that too. So.
But you will have your head PIO back, right?
Yep. Just not for the evaluated.
Not for this one.
Yeah. So I really wanted an A-team to go up there. So.
Well, it's important that we have the best that we can get when it comes to graded.
I agree.
And
Maybe it's a good thing I'm going to be gone.
You're going to be gone?
I'm going to be gone.
I think Kathy is very knowledgeable and would be very good at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd have no problem with Kathy.
I don't either. Do we need a motion? I'm not going to be here Wednesday. I've got to man the office. My dispatcher's got a funeral.
Okay.
Mother-in-law.
There's a lot of funerals that day. So if you guys are okay with that, I'll go ahead and proceed. There's no real payroll type thing. I think it's just kind of like a contract.
Just to submit a voucher.
Yeah, send in a voucher.
Do we need a motion?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Good.
So, I'll get with you later, because we'll have to figure this out. Jesse is not going to be here, so.
Okay, but the other four of you are.
Right, but they call the chairman to see, so we'll have to figure that out.
Okay, because you're vice chairman, right?
We'll get that figured out. I'll get with you.
Looks like you're up, Bob.
Later today.
Okay. As you guys know, we have the graded exercise on Wednesday, August 31st. There's a couple other things that are going on I wanted you guys to be aware of. The day before, FEMA is coming and they're evaluating us on route alerting, meaning if iPods went down, how would we notify the public if we didn't have cell phones and we didn't have iPods? In the past, it'd been sirens, but we took sirens out of the Wolf Creek process, so now it's just route alerting by police and fire and city people. So one of the sheriff's officers is going to go around with a FEMA evaluator in his patrol car, and they picked a route and they're going to go around it. He's going to simulate notifying the public of something at Wolf Creek. So that's going on the day before. And then the morning of the exercise, before everybody gets down there, our access control people at the highway department are getting evaluated by an interview. So FEMA will come in and ask them some questions about their dosimetry and access control, and they'll be evaluated on that. After this exercise, we still have a couple of things that we are getting evaluated on for the year. We're still kind of playing catch up from COVID. This drill this year is a catch-up drill because we didn't have one last year, so it got moved to this year. We will have training at Newman Hospital in Emporia the 6th of September. And then we have a Keema Conference. Keema is the Kansas Emergency Management Association. It's our state agency that oversees EMs, and that's in Mulvane, down by Wichita. Couple days. We're not staying. We're driving back and forth. And then Coffee County Hospital is getting evaluated September 21st. So they will set up and take in a simulated contaminated patient, and they will put them through the whole process and treat them there at the hospital. And then USD 245 is set to be evaluated as a school this year. And I've been talking with Matt Thompson and Kim Byer because they want to see the bus process too. So we've had training, we worked on their plan, and they're ready to be evaluated. So got a lot of stuff coming up.
Sounds like a lot of evaluations going on.
Yep. We love FEMA.
You mentioned the buses. Kim's gonna be graded. How about the buses in Leroy?
It just has to be one bus
One
company.
bus company.
Yeah, and we've always done the Leroy buses.
Yeah, Ellis.
And I don't know if Ellis had something come up, or I don't know what was going on, but Matt said, how about we pull Kim in? And I said, that's great. So, yeah, because he would, either way, those buses will be transporting Leroy and Gridley kids. Even though they're not in the EPZ, they're in Gridley, they still would be part of the process. So, Kim was pretty excited about it. He'd never been in on it, so.
The two processes you got going on tomorrow, commission has nothing to do tomorrow.
Nope.
Just commission.
Not unless you want to ride around with the officer. Nope, that's it. You guys just show up, and I think you guys might have all got the email that I sent out that says, you know, hang out until you're called. I will send out that text. I know that last time some of you got it and some of you didn't. I think we got it narrowed down because I got Jesse figured out.
Yeah, because I don't like weather alerts.
I know. So you just said stop, and that stops everything. Yeah.
I didn't get
Can you test me?
Yep, I can test you again.
Do it.
Yeah, I'll test you guys all today, and if you will reply back yes, that'll let me know that you got it.
I'll do that.
Yeah. So you guys will either get the test or you'll hear the all page in the morning when the EOC is activated.
So there's no way to signal emergency.
We can stop your weather. You
Yes.
apparently signed up for weather at some point.
I hate weather.
Okay, I'll take your weather off. Yeah, I like
If
weather.
I get up in the morning and it's rained, it's rained.
It's rain.
I don't even know that. And most of the time, the storms are already past. me
I'm there
before I get
alone. I don't want
alert.
to become a.
Okay, take weather off.
Take me away.
Off, Jesse. Gotcha. Anybody else want theirs changed?
Now, did you say Wednesday morning there will be text? Or
There'll be text,
But-
and there'll be an all page on your phone, on your
I
county
will
phone.
be called, since we know Jesse's gone. Is the chairman still called?
That's a good question.
I don't
I
know.
just told dispatch to simulate everything but the schools, because they're being evaluated on contacting the schools. I have a whole big old sheet of what everybody's getting graded on, and dispatch is being evaluated on contacting all 3 schools, and they were told, call the schools and simulate everything else, so they won't be calling you.
Okay.
So come on down when someone gets the text or you hear the all page. But that's a good point, because I told them don't call anybody.
Because we used to have a sheet we had to fill out, that the chairman called this, and the timing.
Yeah. Now, if you guys get down there and someone's missing, Andrea has that book. Feel free to call them, and their numbers are on there, and you guys know how to get a hold of them. But hopefully you guys will all be together. Don't separate. Don't go rogue.
Well, we normally wouldn't be together anyway.
Right, you'd be at home.
Right.
And in a real situation, dispatch will call you. And if Jesse's not there, then they will call you. And it's a possibility they call Jesse And Jesse says, hey, I'm out of town, you need to call Bob, and so then they call Bob, and that's how they're listed in order, as chairman, vice, and then everybody else, so. Yep, good question. Is there any other questions on the drill and exercise? Andrea's already come down and did her review and checked through all her stuff, so she's ready to go. We should have a good
I
drill.
wish I'd be able to
Well, I
be
guess-
there, but I'm not.
That was what I was gonna see you about
Uh-huh.
whether we would call or not, so.
Oh, okay.
Since that came up, and
Okay.
so
Nope, just text or call Paige on the phone. Okay, thank you guys, we'll see you Wednesday. And
Yeah.
I still need to give you an extra one.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, yeah, yep, holler at me. Okay.
Bobby, I seen that come through, I just figured there was gonna be questions on it, so I had Andrea get
fine.
you to it, so.
This was the retainage that I held back as final checklist.
Okay.
So, make sure that everything opened up properly and everything
So
was
they
working
probably
right.
don't know, this is Mary Bell,
Yes.
7,400 something. 7,691.23.
Yes, sir.
So,
That was about 10% of the project, and they were the only two change orders, so, and it is included in that last money we talked about, so there's no additional
Okay.
money.
okay.
This is.
I just wanted to,
Yes.
because I know somebody was gonna say something, so
Oh,
I just
yeah.
figured we'd get it out in the open.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Very well, thanks, Bobby.
Thanks, sir. Thank you.
Oh, no, we still got all that to go through. We won't tell Ray when we're done, we'll just leave.
He'll find out when he comes back.
Yeah,
Nobody's
they come
here.
back empty. Empty commission chambers.
I don't know.
Need to be quicker.
I don't have a problem with it. The way it seems to all the time. How's FEMA guy gonna ride along in the county vehicle?
How's what?
FEMA guy gonna ride along in the county
Yeah,
vehicle?
yeah. I figured they're federal
Did
agents.
they sign a release?
There's more, I'll tell you what.
I would say they're federal agents, they're
federal.
covered.
You know,
Well, I think we gotta keep them out till they're federal.
Well,
We're glad to stop them at the county line.
when I have a person riding with me, they sign a release.
Which paper means that, I think.
Or too much.
No, it's not. It's just,
Gives you a warm fuzzy feeling?
yes.
Yeah. That's not the piece of paper.
Here's a voucher from Triangular Silt Dyke for an 8-foot roller.
Thanks for that, Tim.
Do not send until the machine gets here.
That was
Do we know if that machine's got here, and if we need,
That was Jeff, wasn't it?
and if we need to sign it yet?
What's it for?
Invoice
Triangular
material
silt.
roller with an 8-foot pole, material roller with 16-foot pole. Ship date was 8/19, which is 10 days ago.
Well, Jeff put the invoice in, so we can sign it, we can still take
Yeah,
care of
this
it,
is-
just don't
This is
send it.
sticky tab. And I probably signed the check.
Yeah. Got a check in here.
Is that a silk roller?
You can't get a Jeff in.
Well, I bet he gets a text message.
It just says an EZR material roller, 8-foot pole, one with a 16-foot. Yeah.
That's usually my lunch.
Yeah, that's one we've already signed, so.
When you pull the check out, I'll put with this.
I think, yeah, I think that's the best way. It's supposed to be delivered within 2 weeks. The invoice is 10 days old, so chances are they've received it.
These go in that.
They'll be on it, yeah.
Put that in here, it goes in there. You might gloves from Kenworth. Towels, hands, gloves.
Just one pair?
No, they're large gloves, 8mm,
Rubber gloves.
rubber gloves. Kenworth sells that stuff?
Oh, they sell everything.
No. Okay. I knew those trucks were kind of special, but I didn't know you had to have special gloves.
Treat them with rubber gloves. That'd be your shop. County shop.
See, racing
This
hard.
new truck we got, a T800, or what is it?
I think it was an 880, I think is what it was.
880.
This oil, fuel, tires,
Fuel. And fuel's on the rise again. That's
You're back up.
getting back up to $5. I hope everybody remembers this in November.
Well, they gotta get it back up a little so it can come back.
So they can
Yeah,
bring it
so they
back
can
down
say
just
come back
before,
down, yeah.
just before.
Yeah.
Gotta go up before it can go down.
Get us feeling good about 4 1/4 diesel.
Mhm.
I did sign my contract for propane, which, right at $1.95.
It's 195.
Can you get an extension on that and I'll sign one? I think I'm gonna change.
That's what I signed mine for the other day.
Is that the last of Ruby Bridge?
Yes.
This is the first one of the county.
Yep. That's
So
what
right
I did.
here,
This is,
Yeah.
this is,
Phase 2.
Phase 2 started.
this is payroll. The blue book is payroll.
Yeah, I noticed that coming around. That's why I was making sure this was a cutoff.
They're all checked.
Yep, that's just all checked.
Repairs.
Easy there. Cat-like reflexes.
At least when the ball bat throw this.
Right. I need it.
You can't throw it, don't throw it in here.
Yeah, no problem.
Give you that sign, man. I'm still in your way.
You're fine. Just get rid of this month.
Okay. There you go, Tim.
All right. When you're ready.
I'm sorry.
Right. Towels, hand towels. That's a cheap place to buy them.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes you do wonder.
It's, Jeff things from this morning. The copies of
Okay.
the landfill information.
Hey, Bum?
Yes.
Leave that door open. There's a little breeze coming through there, please.
Sorry, they're not. Any paper clips or anything?
Okay.
You opened that up and it was got a little relief.
I checked with Amber, his call in, and
Well, and that's what it should be.
Wait.
It should be giving his phone number that you log into.
we would
the
like
password
to
and all that
invite
stuff.
you to attend the drill as an observant Wednesday if you're free.
Okay.
You can have Jesse's lunch, since he won't be gone. But you are welcome to come attend it as an observer.
Okay. This is the emergency.
The Wolf Creek drill, yes.
Okay. Where would
And I
that be at?
checked with Amber, and you come right up here to this room,
I see.
and we will get you in as we go.
That's a good idea. Great.
I checked with Amber, and it's appropriate.
So they can have a visitor badge or
They can have a visitor badge.
Yep.
What time is that?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 a.m.
We may not get called 8:15 or 8:30, we don't know, but we're supposed to be here at 8.
And you can kind of see what you got coming up first.
Okay.
It's very interesting. I wish I would've been able to set in on some prior to, but there's a lot.
All right. That's it. Well, I've heard it's quite an involved procedure. There's actually a lot more to it than people would think.
Oh, yeah, people don't have a thimble of an idea.
I think I can do that. I'm gonna be gone tomorrow, but I think I can do it.
We need to extend that invitation to Steve Curry.
Thing, I wanna close it.
Don't worry about it, he hasn't showed up, don't worry about it.
Well, we do it. No. Yeah, I'm not sure what way to suggest. I'll just leave the door open and say.
I'm doing it because he's replacing me, I just want to check there, it's okay.
Says otherwise.
Thank you.
I'll close that out.
Hey, what's going on, Brett?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's supposed to be in the 90s today and 80s tomorrow, so
And then 70.
I now can't wait till the 70s.
I'm gonna get down to the 70s.
Yeah.
They keep promising that this is gonna break, and I'm ready.
I
I'm
am
so
too.
sick of the heat.
It looks like it went up again when I just checked it like all week.
Yeah,
September, I was like,
yeah, it was supposed to break off when this front came
Yeah.
through, I thought.
mm.
Okay, we're just full.
What is Miss Presley's first name? I'm terrible.
Amber.
Amber.
Because I'm not sure if it's was for her specifically, so.
Well, everything's blacked out on the back of it, now what, is it names, or what is it for?
Well, for computer software, I don't know why that would be a reimbursement.
Well, it says 'cause she used her personal credit card, but what's it for?
Well, the only thing it's, yeah, for computer software, so I wonder if she.
But what's it for? What's it actually for?
What computer software?
What computer software is it? Because everything on the back is blacked out, and I don't know why it's blacked out. That's what the whole curiosity is.
Okay.
What voucher number was that? You don't know, do you?
No, I'm guessing it's, 80, that's it, 99875.
9987.
Well, they're not in an order, so I guess,
It should be in order.
well, they're not, because the next one's 99847. She'll find out. I thought, did we not designate a vehicle for Bobby?
We did, but there was issues. last I knew, I told him to get a vehicle, sign it out 100%, and that threw issues, so I don't. Guessing it was $500 and some in miles.
But I guess my question would be, with these vehicles were they being used on the same days that he was doing all this?
I have no idea. Personally, I wouldn't wanna wear out my own vehicle.
I wouldn't
That's
either.
just me.
I don't think 62 cents a mile would offset much expense. What is the mileage rate for
62.5.
Pardon?
62.5. That kicked in probably a month ago.
All acceptable. Had lunch with him.
I don't think that offsets the expense of wearing out your vehicle.
Okay, so, the reason everything is blacked out on the back is because that's her personal credit card, so she blacked out her own charges. But they were having issues with their department card, and she needs this, Acrobat Pro for the website accessibility,
Okay,
so what she does.
so that's why it is not blacked out, and
Right.
everything else is. Okay,
Yep.
that's all I wanted to
Okay.
know. It's just a question. Makes sense, too.
Yeah, I'd be panting.
Rider cramp yet, Jesse?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna ask for my stamp here. in a little
You need a
bit.
stamp.
They got one for me.
I'm trying to figure out why I didn't have that work drill programmed in my phone, in my calendar.
Uh-oh. Because they changed it. Probably got it in for the first date.
I know they changed it, but
Will you be here?
yeah. Yeah, luckily,
Well,
I just thought I was gonna have the day off.
You know, get days off.
they told me at work, they said, you're not here Wednesday.
Inmate meals this last month almost 7,000. That's quite a bit more than what it has been, so that kind of tells us the jail's packed.
Yeah. So that's for meals?
Month. 7,000. It's normally around 4,500 to 5,000, 5,500.
So how are the meals?
They furnish the meals for the jail, 3 meals a day for the.
The
Hospital, they come from the hospital.
I'm sorry, hospital meals.
I'm just curious where it came from, I didn't have any idea.
$6,951, it's normally $1,500 less than that.
Now, that will change when the new jail gets built.
Yeah.
Have their own kitchen or.
Yeah, the breakfasts are $288 a piece, there's 555 of them. The lunch is $550.
Piece
There's
of
559 of
toast and a glass
them.
water.
Supper is $563, total at $402.
That's quite a few.
So the meals, I mean, the cost of them are low enough.
Yeah, they are.
And Tom Johnson, the sheriff, here about 2, 3, 4 months ago, ate the meals himself without them knowing, and he said the quality of the meals is fantastic.
Everything I've.
It's always been good up there.
Fantastic, the quality meals are very good.
Did Wayne help you at the election?
Who?
Wayne Blackburn?
No.
Well, here's mileage reimbursement, and here it says election.
I seen that check.
He told us he could come back work for the county.
Hold on a minute. Oh, I think that was supposed to be for me. I think it was an old voucher that we had for him.
I don't know. Steve say here, you gotta watch, cause Don will just let those slide past.
Yep, right there it is, man. That was like the 4th check I signed. I thought that was odd that his name was on a check. Like, why are we still paying him? Considerable deduction, but
Yeah, it was a voucher that I had saved in my computer, and instead of putting his name, or my name, I put his name. So I.
you can just put my name on it.
Okay.
We'll call it together.
Thank you.
Old bird dog Bob.
I know which ones to look at and which ones not to look at. I've been here long enough to know this.
Well, I seen his name, and I was like, that's odd.
We can go to Boo Fest in October. October 15th, we can go to Boo Fest.
$900 to Osage County Sheriff's Office. I bet they was storing, well, if they're storing somebody.
Probably storing 2 or 3.
Here's an expense you'll see too, Wade, to Capital City Mortuary Service. Anytime there's an unattended death, the county pays for an autopsy
I see.
and transporting to up there, the county's expense. So that's another little hidden expense everybody doesn't know about.
How much was that for?
Well, this time it's 2 bodies for $893.
It's the same person.
Same
I
person.
marked it out. I marked, the name was on it, so I marked it out. I don't think we're supposed to see the name, but it was the same person.
I see.
Oh, well, how come it's...
That's when I marked it, yeah. I didn't have a.
Okay, one was up and the other was back.
Yeah, I didn't have a white
All
house.
2 days apart.
Okay.
But anyway, still, those are hidden expenses that the county does pay that people are not aware of.
It's normally a greater dollar amount than that.
Depends on how many they go.
Registered detail?
Well, normally it's more than that per person.
Per person?
Yeah,
That area has everything.
if you remember right.
Another one you'll find is that we hire a trash service to dump a dumpster out at the landfill, because by law, we can't do that.
Can't dump our own.
We can't dump our own dumpster at our own landfill, so we hire a company to come in and dump the trash dumpster
At another location or at our land?
at our landfill.
Okay. We just throw it back with truck and run it back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was just curious.
Somebody somewhere decided, do we need this dumpster, and we hold it, the guy from Hartford comes in, or somewhere, and
But that's the only one, it's just the one at
It's
the
just that one
landfill,
at the
like county
landfill.
shop and everything, we could dump our own then.
no, it's county shop, but that's another company, a different company. I
Waste
see.
management,
We got Waste Management, I think, is county shop, but this one is,
it's on the city bill.
yeah. Yeah, all those little things, because evidently by law, we legally can't, because I asked that question, I said, no, we can't do that. I think it came in, I don't know if it'll be here in this month or not.
So like Steve's Trash Service or somebody?
Yeah, I believe that's who it is, yeah, Steve's Trash Service.
He comes over and dumps the one dumpster.
Yeah, one dumpster, and it's out at our landfill. He comes in, picks it up, dumps it at our landfill.
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Bob, here's the autopsy on the same person. And that other was
This other
it
one
mileage?
the other one just for transportation. This one's for the autopsy. It's
How much?
2,000 for the
2,100.
autopsy.
I knew that 800 was.
800 or something?
800.
That was just for the transportation back
Up
there
and
and
back.
back.
Up and back, you might
Yeah.
say, 2 circles.
And, you know,
But the 2,100 is greater than what it has been, so,
Let's see.
you know, to the extent of the autopsy, maybe changes the cost of it too.
That, yeah.
Cause it's 2,100.
$800 is pretty good mileage then, if that
yeah,
include the, nothing with the
yeah, I thought it
autopsy.
was for, but,
Kind of a captive business.
I mean, it's a dying
It's
business.
a dying business.
It is, I guess, that's right.
Wow, I never heard that one.
My cousin's funeral home guy, there's some pretty clever customers.
That might be the issue. You guys can quit saying that down at any time.
Just keeps coming.
Years ago, our maintenance people paid $5 out the landfill to haul some brush out there.
I don't see any paid by others.
It's a weird.
Donated.
No, can't have any more than that.
Eh,
I'm sorry.
Demolition to you.
Now, that's my youngest brother's wife.
Oh, okay.
She was one of the, involved in the election. There's gonna be, I bet there's a boatload in there.
There is, that's what I'm going through.
Cause they had,
Okay.
6 people there, or 8 people there, 3 of them, and 5 students.
Here we have someone, evidently they ate at Topeka, they were in Topeka,
Mm-hmm.
they ordered from Hog Wild, had it delivered.
Mm-hmm. DoorDash.
So, in service fee for $7, they could go eat somewhere, they had to have it delivered to wherever they were at. That's getting a little bit lazy, isn't it? Somebody else's money, so we just spend it.
See, there's DoorDash stuff in Burlington. Isn't there DoorDash? Yeah, there's DoorDash. I think Pizza
I
Hut.
don't know.
I think Pizza Hut does like DoorDash, or somebody's around. There's one day I was in a Pizza Hut. Somebody come in, Sonic too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably a good thing I'm the age I am.
Maybe I'll take it 4 more months, Bob.
Oh, yeah, I'll survive the 4 more months, it's just, I'm sure I'll survive the rest of the world afterwards. This is a dream compared to some of the crap coming down the line, I think, from the world.
I'm afraid it's gonna get worse. You see where the USDA is arming itself?
USDA is?
Yeah. Making you say, why?
How come,
Mad cow disease.
how's come all these federal agents, IRS agents, all these people will be armed, but our government is totally against firearms?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they're against
Depending on who's
the
carrying it.
citizens
Yeah.
having firearms.
Yeah.
Depends on who's carrying it.
That's kind of the way Hitler was, wasn't he?
They don't want
You're
laws.
hitting home.
They don't want,
odd, isn't it?
You can see the resemblance.
they don't want anything down on the border either, so put chain link fence clear around the Capitol, so.
USDA,
You're exactly.
the Federal Reserve, they went through the list.
And Nancy, all
Scary
these
list.
people they have armed guards over them all the time.
Yeah.
But yet,
Federal Reserve, why do they need to be armed?
you know, the Federal Reserve really isn't owned by the federal government.
Correct. But the
U.S. Constitution heavily redacted.
USDA, since 2012,
You got all the checks now?
also Wade, Foreign Service
You just come
Agency,
grab a bunch.
One stack, yeah.
Mhm.
guess what they got into now? Check this out. They got into land, conservation easement.
Well, there's gotta be something else.
Yep, the US, or the Farm Service Agency, I got that email like a month ago.
Nancy, did you sign any road and bridge checks?
Yep.
You did.
They're in the box.
Oh, okay, they're in here, all right,
No,
Uh-oh,
the other box, the other box.
okay.
Sorry,
What did I do?
Nothing, we just,
sorry.
Alright.
As long as I don't have to re-sign them, I'm good.
I seen you put those checks in there and you started covering them up with more vouchers, it's like, maybe I'll set those out.
Sorry.
No. She'll find them. I knew where they's at.
I ain't getting nothing on Jeff. Jeff hasn't texted me back yet.
Okay, they're not in here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I watched you.
yeah, they are. I saw him put them in there.
Road and bridge checks?
Yeah.
The first round of checks,
Okay.
I'm looking, make sure.
No, I watched you do it.
I saw him put them in right there.
Oh, they're there, okay. We went through them and we didn't see them, they're stuck down on the bottom, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I seen him
No,
go.
I owe you
No,
apology.
it's okay. All right, thank you.
Uh-huh.
I was like, we did not see that.
In the month of July,
I know.
in the month of July, we had 7 inmates in Lyon County
Yeah.
at one time.
Yeah.
Got one in Oak County.
So a lot of the inmates,
I'm sorry?
are they like arrested on I-35 or something, or how do we get so many?
They're in coffee can, they're arrested by
Coffee
our
can.
officers. Most of them.
I just wondered what the percentage was, actual local people that are in our jail.
Yeah, I don't know that we have them numbers, actual Coffee County people that are in jail.
I mean, it's irrelevant, I guess,
Right.
the lawbreakers in our county.
Right.
I'd say quite a few
I'd say
on
majority of them.
I-35, but I think we've gained on 75 too.
To break down the paper, I'd say 95% of them is Coffee County, in Coffee County.
95%?
I bet it is. When you look at them.
Yeah.
Well, another.
Yeah, I guess it's there.
I know last week or maybe the week before, there was 26 inmates in at one time.
Well, but, no, that's not what Wade was asking. He was asking the percentage, and you're saying that they're all in Coffee County.
I mean, how many are Coffee County
Well,
residents?
majority of the rest, I think, is in Coffee County itself. That's not saying they didn't reach out into 35, you know, at Osage or maybe Franklin, if somebody was moving.
None of them are, very few, what he's asking is if they're residents of Coffee County.
Very few of the residents are here for feeding or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The,
100% of the arrests
agent,
and people in the jail are in within Coffee County jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Right, but
No?
I meant whether it's people from Texas that are in our jail or whether it's Coffee County residents.
I would say, did I miss one?
Yes.
Bob distracted me.
I would say most of, probably,
On the election.
most of the I-35 people are probably by the highway patrol.
Just like when.
There you go, man.
But if they're in Coffee County, we get them.
Yeah.
Something else, a lot of people probably don't realize, and I just signed over $8,000 worth of Coffee County Hospital inmates. Once they're in that jail, we're responsible for
There will be.
their health.
Mhm. Plus, that was just for meals. Plus, we spent close to that for medical.
That was medical.
That was medical.
That wasn't $8,000.
That wasn't for meals.
No.
Oh, okay, cause then we buy the meals besides, Don said it was meals.
Well, that was meals. The bottom 6,500 of that is meals. There's about $1,000 of it's medical. And then there's another voucher for medical by itself, and it was $700-800.
Yep.
That $8,000 invoice, the bottom 6,500 of it is meals.
Yep.
Was it? I looked, maybe I was looking at the wrong one, because I seen names crossed out, so.
Yeah, name.
They have no business buying conservation easements. No. And they're doing it.
The only ones I marked the names out was the autopsy deal. I marked that name out.
I don't know, kind of get checked, I'm not sure I'll be able to find it.
Because I made the comment, so the meals was almost
You're
$7,000.
probably right.
Yeah,
Normally
right,
it's about $5,000.
6,900.
But on that same voucher, there was 5 or 6 medical deals, total $400 or $500.
Farm ground left.
Then there was another invoice by itself that had probably $1,000 for medical on it.
And you gotta remember, we got somebody 3 times a day going to the house to picking up those meals and bringing them back too. So that doesn't amount to a lot for one trip, but it starts adding up with 3 trips.
Yeah.
Per month and per years.
Well, I apologize.
Find it?
You bet. Kind of bet.
Yeah.
But no.
USDA did not for firearms.
Probably about
Yes,
10 minutes, 15.
Further at the end
Probably.
of Obama administration, talking about the ammunition. medical keeps still
I know,
doing it.
man, so that's one I looked at.
What are they gonna do with it? They use it.
That's a hospital.
USDA needs a fire
That's a
alarm.
medic, that's just a medical center here.
Medical center, yeah.
The other one that had the meals on it, the top 7 or 8 line items was medicine,
All
or
right.
medical.
This is,
Why is it an eight?
That's medical.
this is $300 just to the medical center.
Well, and Don.
They were back, those 2 invoices,
Were back to back, I
they're
think.
back to back, or they were.
Of course, he gave the 10.
Yes, I did.
So you're looking at probably invoice 99805 or 99806 if they're back.
Everybody. Oh, 8 nights, no way.
Yeah. Should be right there on their name up front.
It said Dr. Fauci was on the way out and retiring. My question is, if I was as wrong as he was, I look at him as the weatherman. Why is he gonna be able to retire?
Yeah.
You know the answer.
He should not have that option. If I was his boss, he would have had the chance to retire.
That's the one I saw.
Find the one you're looking for, Tom?
Yeah, you're right.
What'd you say we was charged for tire disposal? $1.75?
$1.75.
We charged $2.
Yeah, we do now, but
They're
I'll
two and a
bet
half.
a lot of our tires came in when we were only charging $1.
Yeah.
They're 2.5 now.
That's for
2.5
passenger
or
tires.
2?
Passenger
Two
car,
for
2.5.
2.5?
See, that, we changed that $2, or we increased it to 2.5, probably 5-6 months ago. I'm not sure the date.
He read through Dr. Fauci's list of what he said wrong about.
Okay.
Delivery of circus posters
A lot
to
of it.
surrounding areas.
About 95% of it.
And it just makes you wonder if you could like, I don't know, figure out who made the most money off of it.
Exactly.
Pharmaceutical companies.
And the thing is, it's scary.
Is that Brian's daughter,
Some of the
Dawn?
I'm sorry?
Is that Brian's daughter, Miranda?
of the shot.
Is Miranda?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that.
And my question
Right.
is, what happened to the
Mike,
Johnson
man.
They're not pushing it at all. Yeah, you don't see it.
So like when an individual brings in a truckload of trash, then that's charged by the ton, that's weighed in.
Mm-hmm. And we do usually have 2 weeks of free landfill dumping a year. One in the spring and one in the fall, where you can haul it out for that. That's when some people start tearing down their houses. They can haul it all out there for free. $900 in Osage County
Yeah,
Sheriff.
just one person, 20 days.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of people. committee hearings and the ESG. No, but these ones. I understand that, I thought.
If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you.
Yeah,
At our expense.
at $1,200 a month for how many of them?
$12.91.
Five of them now?
There's one more here.
So,
If
thank
you-
you for each.
It bounces between
For,
three
for
and,
each one, yeah,
Three and
500, it's
five.
$1,200 some dollars this year, it changes each year. Or,
if, the answer I got on that was, depends on how many they got.
but there's five.
You know, it's $1,200 now, if there's three next time, or next month, so many dollars is divided to how many attorneys are on retention. Might be 3 this month, might be 4 next month, so the value per month changes too.
So who is that made to then?
I'm sorry?
Who's the check made to?
The attorneys, it comes
The
through the
attorneys.
district court.
Each check is for that attorney.
I see, okay.
$12.91.66.
Yeah, so,
I,
what charger was wrecked?
Hmm?
What charger was wrecked? When was that?
They don't,
Two different ones.
So can anyone choose to get a county appointed attorney?
yes, that's your right.
That's the person's decision whether they can afford it or not.
I don't know what's all involved in that.
I can't
Whether they wanna
remember
pay it-
that process.
Whether they can afford it, whether they wanna pay it or not.
Angie, we probably have seen this before, I just don't recall. Trust Point WCOM endorsement, update to current audit. Is that an annual deal?
And who's it paid to?
Trust Point, work comp audit.
Oh, yeah, we do that, that's done every year.
Transaction effective date January 1st, due date 8/15, but we've probably seen it annual, but we pay for an annual audit for that.
Yes, you have to.
Well, I'm sure, and we probably had it on every year.
Yeah.
$14,000.
Mhm.
there is any site.
I don't see it is. Quit sending them.
I'm done. I'm done.
Last month was a lot easier. I want it back.
Wow.
Hmm?
Nine county, 6,400.
You gotta remember, Wade, every time if somebody mentions one of those of another county, we may haul that person back and forth 2 or 3 times too, because they have to come back here for
I know.
a jury or for trial or whatever it be.
More money transfer.
So it's,
Testify.
All of it expensive.
You want to pay that?
Yeah.
It's no wonder why some of our surrounding counties can't prosecute as many criminals as we do, just for the cost of it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've always been told, if you're gonna commit a crime, go to Woodson or Greenwood County, so. It's a lot of expense, isn't it, to prosecute?
True enterprise balances forward, but there's no receipt of what it's for.
No.
$508, no receipt.
Well, that sounds like the one I did then. I thought I put the descriptor, it's the paint. It was,
Paint for
10
the-
gallons of paint.
I know here 2 months ago, it was for landscape timbers.
Oh,
But it was
true.
identified, where there's no identification on that one, but. Angie, sometime in the near future, we'll be seeing some invoices directly related to the jail. Do we need to set up a one-line
No,
item?
they don't on that. I thought they did.
We need to get some funds transferred to a line item.
Right.
I was gonna set up its own fund, is what I was gonna
I'm
do.
sorry?
I was gonna set up its own fund,
Okay.
if that is okay with you guys, so we can track everything.
Do we need to have a line item set up so we can keep track of that?
Sinead Weber, greeter at meeting, what meeting?
That was probably out at Wolf Creek.
Yeah.
I would assume.
I would too.
I would just suggest, and I don't care, but I mean, I can kind of usually figure them out. I'd just suggest that sometimes that you might want to send a memo out to all the departments to explain what they're actually being paid for a little bit more than just reader meeting. And then you're not asking questions like that.
Right. I mean, I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Can I see that one? 'Cause I don't know.
Wasn't she out there?
Who?
I don't know.
At Weber? I wasn't at that meeting, so I don't know, but.
There was a young lady there, but I don't know who she was.
I wouldn't know. It came from Bobby, so I'm guessing that's what it was.
I'm guessing.
I see it, since I wasn't at that meeting, I see it, and I think, okay,
Mhm.
what kind of a meeting are we?
But I don't think we had to pay anybody mileage, just go around on that.
So what?
Didn't have to pay anybody mileage this time around on that, I don't think.
At that rate, I wouldn't think so.
Mhm.
I didn't think so.
Kenzie, what time of the year do we get the annual budget in this form from Phil?
Well, he would've had it here when he was here last week,
Okay.
or, well, not the budget, the audit. But he'll be getting it sent to us here pretty soon,
Okay.
because he finalized it last week, so.
I was thinking that we'd gotten these before on the budget deal, or budget hearing, but I might, probably
No, they
mistake,
come after.
might have been a month after, so.
He comes down there.
Right.
Right, he comes after.
Dan, there was one thing I had Heidi check. Do you remember when we had that RV park out there by the river? We did an extension on them here.
No.
Was that last year?
No.
You mean Hill Hill?
The old farm location,
Yeah.
Coffee County farm location, they was gonna put an RV park here.
Oh, out here.
Or
Bill
some
Ford
sites,
Farm.
yeah,
Bill
Ford Farm.
Yeah.
And that ought to be getting pretty close to timing out again.
And what's it called again?
Ooh.
I don't know what it's called
I
now.
don't remember their names.
I don't know if they've ever done anything.
They put a
I've
little
never
rock in out there and it's looking pretty
And it's
shabby.
supposed to be
But I've never
RV
seen,
park?
I've never seen any campers or anything, RVs out there.
Yeah, no, they've never got it off.
But with the outage coming up, they might wanna,
Yeah, there's nothing, I mean, it's not anywhere close to being ready. But they were supposed to be ready, and they called for an extension, and we gave them an extension,
Yeah,
but
we
there hasn't
did.
been anything done since
yeah,
then.
I don't know.
Okay, I'll check with them. Check too.
You know, with that being mentioned, at Vito on the west side, we extended that for a year to get that
Yeah.
fence up, and I bet that year's up.
That sounds like.
And they haven't touched, nothing's been added, changed up there.
I drove by there the other day.
Nothing's been
No.
changed, we need to have, that needs to be discussed a little bit.
Okay. I'll check on that one or two and see what the date,
'Cause I think,
that does feel like.
I'm not too sure we're not past the annual, the extension for 1 year, I'm not too sure we're not already past it.
Okay. I'll check on that one.
Not to make an issue for them, but the other side, they've got an agreement for been
Right.
2 years now.
Yeah, and that one I remember, the RV park, I'll check on that one.
That might have been before you. That's what makes me think that it's probably a long past.
The fence extension, we just gave them another year here before we moved back up here.
Yeah,
That's right before.
yeah.
The RV park, I don't recall.
I feel like it was up here.
No, we was down there.
Alright, alright.
But it was early, I mean, it was,
It's been a
We were
while.
up here, it was before we went down there.
right, and, it was, I was sitting in the seat down
You
there.
ran the seat in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been here 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Not there anymore.
I'm going on the third, so.
Yeah, not yet. You haven't got through the second one yet.
Well, I know, January will be start of the third.
That's a long ways off yet.
It is. I
We
get
sit
dead
there
by then.
thinking, damn, that ain't long enough.
We'll be dead by the time that comes around.
You're young enough, you might be here 20 years.
No, I better not be. Something's went drastically wrong. There's gonna be a point in time when nobody's gonna see me.
I'm trying to finish up a phone call.
Well, once again, we're waiting on Wade.
And we're nearing the end, if you wanna let him know.
Speak now, Fred, hold your peace. He's on the telephone call.
Yeah, I did let him know that he's always.
We'll be on call and take a quick break.
Take a quick break. It's kinda dropped a little bit, hasn't it?
Sorry?
It's dropped a little bit.
6.7, that's about what it was last month.
Oh,
That's
okay.
over about 20.
I was just looking at those numbers this year.
Yeah. Yeah, from month to month, it dropped 1.8.
Mhm.
And it wandered between 1.4 and 1.8, 1.9.
Okay.
We were 6.7 had it last year. That's the reason I was, I'm like, no, that much.
Right, 6-7 ahead of last year to date.
Well, but it'll show 6.5.
Guys getting caught up on work down here?
Yeah, we're breathing easier, I'll say that.
I tried to find some of that mill, that 6 mil, is that what you was talking about, that cover? They only have one roll down here.
Funny, kind of 2,000 square foot roll.
That's what she was saying. 10 by 100.
Usually 20 by 100. Text Jeremy, we probably got some laying around. We'll do that and we'll need it to cover up concrete after it rains.
Well, you know where it's at. I'm gonna try to get your forms back this week.
It won't. It'll be fine for. I just like 6, just because. And I'm not sure it does really anything. Just every time you do an engineering project, it's got it there, you got it there. But now they switched to like, like 10 mil.
Really? That'd be about like that black plastic.
It ain't cheap, man. Comes a big old roll of green. I might even have some of that.
I think it helps with the floor sweat.
Shouldn't, in a controlled environment, it shouldn't
What
sweat.
you think? Had a guy down there in Louisiana, he built a floor, or built a shop, and that thing is sweat and sweat and sweat and sweat. I named it the sweatshop floor, because I never knew their last names, but we was there one day, man, I mean, they was actually squeegeeing the water off.
Won't cost your butt.
Oh, he's slicker as snot.
I've been in buildings that had it, I've been in buildings that hadn't, they both sweat. Engineer told me it's to keep the moisture from coming up. If you get a heavy amount of saturated soil, it keeps the moisture from coming up. Like when you do a commercial building, you gotta use that 10 mil. And you gotta tape all the seams, tape everything, and tape it all out. They won't let you grab a grade pen to it. Just take your laser and shoot all your wet streets.
All big darts.
Here, okay.
Thank you.
Moving on way.
Sorry, I had a phone call that.
We're here all day.
We're at the WOW system again.
A phone call that,
DOW.
Actually, we're still waiting on Tim.
what?
Ken went over there talking.
Tim, if he'd been a little quicker, we'd got away from it.
Yeah, I'm hold up.
As far as a project manager for the jail, county's own set of eyes. We've got Cook, Flat, and Strobel we've been working with. And B&G. What was that one?
I think there's some interest outside those names.
Okay, you got some ideas?
I don't know whether those three have really done much with jails.
Construction, I think
They're more engineering, and I don't know, they might be okay. sure take a look at
Just
it.
a thought.
I mean, I think it costs an awful lot of money to have them be the county eyes there, get a
Well-
percentage.
I mean, are you thinking about someone that's licensed, or do you just want someone that's got general construction knowledge?
I don't know that you're gonna have somebody that's licensed, I think you're gonna have somebody that's had considerable knowledge in that field.
I think the names that Kirk's going to forward to us are.
Those are your contractors that are gonna actually build it, so to speak.
Yeah.
They'll take in all the bids for each scope of work, whether it be concrete, HVAC, or whatever.
I think they're experienced at it, know what to look for,
Right,
hopefully.
but, and then also, you still need a county agent, a county person, or a county eyes, or a county vetted person, that, because you're letting a fox guard a hen house if you're not.
Exactly, that's kind of what, when he was talking about this, I kept thinking, these guys are wanting to put their own people in there.
Yeah.
We've had that happen before. It's different. I would like to have a project manager, somebody our eyes.
That's what I thought we were talking about.
That is a construction
And he started a construction manager. To me, they're two different things.
They are.
They are.
They are.
We need somebody on
I
county.
think you surprised him by saying that, because his focus and why he was here was the construction manager. Now, the project manager idea has been mentioned in the past, and I think, there have been some names out there that have come to light that could potentially fill the project manager role, but I think we need to know a little bit more information before we, are able to get somebody in who can at least come in and present to the board to fill that role. I would be interested in knowing if some of the other projects where jails have been built, if they had a project manager, and if so, who they were and where they, but I don't think it will be as difficult to find somebody to fill that role, because they are a level of accountability for whoever is out there actually filling the construction role, because they're the eyes and the ears, and then they can come in and say, I know he said that same thing, but it's a different eyes and ears, where they can come in and say, look, this is what's going on, and, I think you should be concerned about this, and what do you want done, if anything. So, if there are people who are out there who are watching this right now and they think they can fill that role, then they need to either contact any one of you, to bring their credentials and their name forward as a possible person who could do that, or to contact Andrea, or just wait. But I think that's where we are right now with the project manager. I know there's been several names mentioned long before we even got to this part that had mentioned a project manager for a project of this magnitude is very important for the county. So, and I think maybe you've had that same communication. I think, Tom, you've had that communication. I don't know if the others have, but I've been stopped and it's been mentioned to me.
When your construction manager, he should have his own project manager, if you will, that does nothing but sit around, read the blueprints, and know what each trade's, when they're supposed to be there, what they're supposed to be doing. What we're looking at more is like quality control for
On our behalf, for our,
yeah.
which is over and above the
When
expense.
they pour concrete, like he said, they're gonna be testing firm out there testing your concrete. You're gonna have a testing firm testing your soil before they get started on footings. Then I would assume that in the scope of work, as far as the HVAC, there'll be someone in to check the vents, make sure everything's balanced. And there's several things. Your plumbing will have to have a pressure test, and it'll have to be certified. I mean, there's tons of stuff that goes along with it.
So I thought I had something I was gonna need to bring forward, but I don't have anything for today, so,
Did you look at these by any chance? The bids
yes.
awarded? Send out information?
It seems like from my review, they followed what the requirements were, and
So what's hold up then?
Yeah, why aren't they demolishing it already?
They're not moving equipment in.
Like I say, for me, it didn't pan out as hoped, but there might be salvaging those windows and stuff. I mean, maybe he does, maybe he is, but.
Do we need to check to see if they are planning on salvaging anything? Because we're gonna have to deem it whatever to the county.
I mean, that's included in the proposal. So
Okay.
if something is gonna be salvaged, since it is county property, there's a mechanism or a procedure within the RFP that would have to be followed. So
if it doesn't go to landfill, it's gotta be brought to somebody's attention. Correct. Because it's not, if it doesn't go to landfill.
I would assume gets knocked down and taken out to the landfill after the asbestos mitigation has taken place. So, and that's why the delay, the asbestos part of it. The report was posted online, what the mitigation requirements were, so everybody's put on full notice.
Did any of those bids have a beginning date and a completion date?
I don't think I seen a begin date.
Did we ask for that?
Length of time of completion 90 days on the winning proposal.
From when it's awarded, or?
Available
when
start
everything-
date 8/15/22.
When?
8/15
Last week.
last week.
Last week. Somebody walk out and it's.
Yeah, based on that, November 15th, it'll all be done.
Yep.
Rock and roll, or December 1st at the latest.
90 days from 15th to December 1st, that's,
Be November 15th.
you know, we're nowhere close, yeah.
Available start date October 3rd, length 8 weeks. For number 2. So.
There's no price difference,
Yeah, you can't.
Right, I mean, if one of them wasn't gonna start for a year, that's what I
Right,
wanted to know.
exactly,
I didn't want
exactly.
to get cut.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So do we need to formally award?
Is that what you decided?
Well, it sounds like to me they could have started last week and be done 90 days. And the other one was October 3rd.
Starting October 3rd, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Would be till 60 days, which would be
60 days.
December 1st, so
Right.
It'll be,
they're
So
both
then
gonna
you-
be done.
finish time is close to the same.
You're not quite. About $60,000 difference.
Yeah. 63.
Yeah.
157 to 97.
I'll move that we award Victory Excavating the winning bid of $97,718 to demolish the church.
Second.
Moved by Jesse, seconded by Tom. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Contact them and tell them to get after it.
Yep.
We need these bonds and insurance in place.
Yeah, we gotta make sure bonds and insurance is all in the courthouse before
They
we start.
should have
Huh?
which they should have.
Well, the bonds will be for this particular project,
Yeah, probably before this project.
for that project alone.
With their insurance, they should have that anyway.
Correct.
And I believe there was a bond paper in the
Bid
back.
bond, that was a bid bond.
Bid bond,
You
okay.
want payments and performance bond, I believe it's stated in there. On file with the clerk prior to starting.
Prior to moving your equipment on property.
It's in the RFP, yes, sir.
And I believe there's gotta be a construction fence put around it too, isn't there?
Yes.
Some sort of barrier.
Barrier.
Get some IRS people out there.
Yeah.
Protect it.
Well, if Wade doesn't have any, you got anything else, roundtable stuff?
No.
No?
I have one other thing.
You got one other thing?
I just got the notice today that the Southeast Kansas County Officials District meeting will be, Thursday, September 29th from 8 to 1
Where?
in Fort Scott. At the River Room, 3 West Oak Street.
What time?
8 to 1, it says.
On the 29th September?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not available that day.
Sure you are, you're a commissioner, 24/7.
I'm sorry?
The Southeast
Yeah, you're
Kansas County
commissioner
Officials
24/7.
I
District
know.
meeting.
I'd be available after about 3 o'clock.
Be a little late.
Just a little.
Should be headed home by then.
I will say, I received a message a little bit earlier that at 2 o'clock today, the KCC is, I guess, rendering their decision in the NextEra transmission line case that's before the KCC. So, I think it's, my understanding is it's a public hearing. So, if somebody wanted to get on and watch it, it will be on YouTube, my understanding.
NextEra, where's that transmission line?
That's
The Blackberry?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, you said NextEra, so I was confused.
I don't think they've been formally awarded that, approval by the KCC to move forward.
Okay.
So I know, I mentioned the 26th was a date that I thought online looked like the date they had to decide. Well, it got bumped, I guess, to today, so that they could have that hearing.
What's the date of that?
Today.
Today at 2 o'clock.
Today at 2 o'clock.
Should be able to type in. Should be able to watch it live.
Yeah.
So, although by the time this meeting gets posted, my guess would be it's over and done with, but,
Wade, do you have that link?
I can find it.
If you could text me that,
Okay.
or email.
How did there was talk about the yes/no vote being redone. Did you hear anything on the election on that? They was talking about redoing it.
I've not heard anything.
Value vote.
Mm-hmm.
They did
Well, you
a
might-
few counties.
Yeah, are you talking about the
Yeah.
recount?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. They did do a few counties, but I haven't heard the results of it yet.
They haven't posted the results to my knowledge yet.
Yeah.
But they only picked out 4 of the big counties, didn't they?
6.
6 of the big ones?
Yeah.
I know there was, I was thinking, yeah, but it was the big counties, which
Yeah.
ruled out all of us little ones.
We don't count, you know that. Them.
I was thinking it was 4 of it, I did.
There were 6.
Who's on it?
If nobody has anything else, we'll split hairs and get out of here. Adjourn at 12:15.
And see everybody but Jesse Wednesday.
See everybody from the weekend. You can come see me.
Cut through your office and go
Be
and
part
talk
of
to
4
Brad.
computers, sir.
I'll be calling you.